All right, are we good? Are we live? I think we are. Hello all and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat Live. This opening weekend of WSL action continues this morning as we have the Merseyside derby. Liverpool take on Everton in what is sure to be a thrilling clash. We've got 3 other games going on as well, which we'll keep tabs on throughout this stream, but our focus will be on the Merseyside derby, on the action in Merseyside. It's going to be a good game, Harry. Liverpool, Everton, what are you expecting from this match?
I think it's going to be a really interesting one. Gareth Taylor's first game in charge with the Liverpool side, and he said that he is relishing the opportunity, which is an interesting way to look at it because it's not an easy game. Yes, he's avoided one of the big 4 in his first match, but going up against your rivals, there's a lot of pressure and a lot of expectation that Liverpool can deliver against an Everton side who have had the better of Liverpool over the last few years. Liverpool haven't beaten Everton in the league since 2019. That's a long time. That's a lot of matches. Yes, they've beaten them twice in the League Cup, but when we're looking at those WSL games, Everton seem to have the stranglehold over Merseyside, and it's very much been blue for the last few years. Liverpool will be hoping that they can change that today, and maybe Gareth Taylor is the man to turn their fortunes around. But I think it's a new look Liverpool against a very, very good Everton side. It's bound to be a really, really good one. And these kind of derbies, we know they're going to be extra competitive and going to have that extra 5-10% about them. But I think we're in for a really good game today. And I'm really intrigued, especially on Liverpool, as to how they're going to set up and how they're going to play under Gareth Taylor.
I think it's quite interesting as well because you mentioned that statistic that Liverpool haven't won this derby now for 6 years. And yet last season, Liverpool was so much higher than Everton in most people's estimations. Going into this season, I think they've probably fallen below them. Everton have had such a positive summer. I think moving to Goodison Park is a reflection of how the club feels about its women's side. There's actual investment there. And I think looking at the signs they've made, looking at the progress they're making on the pitch, compared to teams around them, I think is huge. They've made some really good additions and there's some clear investment there. So, yeah, I think Everton are in probably a stronger position than Liverpool heading into this season, which is, not where they've been the last 2-3 seasons. So a very positive summer for Everton. I think they come into this campaign with a lot of belief. And let's get into the lineups then. We are we're at Anfield today for Liverpool versus Everton. Didn't realise we were in the main stadium. That is good to see. And we'll start with the host, Liverpool. It's a 4-3-3 for Liverpool. No surprise, Gareth Taylor sticking to what he knows. In goal, Kirby gets the nod. There was an expectation that Borgraf may start this game, but it's Kirby in between the sticks. A back 4 of Captain Grace Fisk at right back, Bonner, Evans and Lily Woodham. In the midfield 3, it's arguably one of the strongest midfields in the division. Kerr, Nagano and Hervinger. And then a front line of Cornelia Capox, Mia Enderby and Kerry Holland. Interesting team then. The striker choice, Enderby over someone like a Houck, someone like a Kiernan. Do you agree with that? Where are your thoughts?
I think it's a difficult one. It's a toss-up at the end of the day. But for me, clearly Taylor's looking for pace. And that makes sense. Realistically, it's a very, very strong Everton backline. I think that overall, they're going to have the better of Liverpool in the air. But in behind, if they can get that ball over the top into the channels for Enderby to chase, and then you've got someone like Capox who can make that inside run, I think that they could be on the money today. So for me, that works better. It's all about how the front 3 will link up. And I think that with Capox on the left and with Holland in there as well, you want to, both players who want to come inside and want to be dangerous. It makes sense to start a striker who's going to spread the game wide, who's going to make those diagonal runs left and right, and is going to be able to bring Holland and Capox into it in a central area, or if it's Herbinger making the run from deep. So I think it's the right decision because it matches the rest of the team's play style, and it should come together for everyone to kind of coincide and work together nicely.
Yeah, and then we'd expect to see Lily Woodham in quite an aggressive role. That's what she's suited to. It's also what you think with Capox playing left wing, looking to cut inside. That combination could work quite nicely. And let's look at the visitors then, Everton. We're trying to piece together how this team is going to look because there's quite a few interesting selection choices. I think it is a 4-3-3, but it could very much be a 3-back. I expect it to be a 4-back though. That's what we've seen Sorensen use most last season. So in goal, it will be Brosnan. A back 4 of Ishikawa, Ladd, Fernandez and Pacheco. In the midfield pivot, Van Gaal and Hayashi with Mamiki as the attacking midfielder. On one side, Katie Robinson. On the other, Vignola. And leading the line, it's captain Katja Snoyce. So some interesting selection choices. No Kelly Gargo to start for Everton. Is that a surprise for you?
A little bit. I think it's a difficult side, as you say, to put together for Everton because they're in a very, very weird scenario. It's the system that we're used to seeing with Everton. It's exactly what we'd expect for Brian Sorensen to go, but the personnel is very, very different, and this could go one of two ways. No, but to speak on Gargo, I think that's a weird one. I think she would have the beating of of Evans and Bonner in that Liverpool back line. I think she's brilliant in the air, very good with holding the ball up, but also can go by herself. So Gargo not starting is an interesting one for me, although she has missed a lot of pre-season, so potentially it isn't a decision made by choice and perhaps through necessity. But overall, I really don't know where to put Everton right now because as I said, we know the system works. Again, it's one of those where it worked against Liverpool last season. It worked against a lot of teams in the second half of the campaign. But it's a very, very new look side, a lot of new additions into the team, and that can go one of both ways. Either it ends up being really misguided and they don't quite work together and no one is really on the same wavelength, or it clicks and you've got some brilliant players all linking up together and working superbly. So I'm really intrigued to see how Everton go. Liverpool know what Everton's system's going to be, but in terms of the personnel and how it's all going to come together is a little bit of an unknown because there's 6, 7 new additions in that Everton side. It's going to be interesting to see whether it'll all come together nicely and work from minute one, or whether we are going to see some teething issues from Sorensen's side, which Liverpool will look to take advantage of.
I think it's quite interesting as well because both sides set up, it looks quite similar on paper. We know Vignola for Everton's a winger who likes to drive inside. Pacheco's a fullback who likes to overlap. With no natural right back today, it's going to be a centre back, so you assume they're going to want to be a little bit deeper, perhaps tuck in a little bit more narrower. And then you look at the Liverpool side, and that's exactly how they're going to look to set up because they don't have a natural right back yet. In fact, it'll be Grace Fisk there, who we thought would move back to centre-back with all the right-backs they've signed, but the right-backs that Liverpool have signed are either injured or have only just come in. So it does make sense that Fisk continues there today. But it does mean we're probably going to see quite a similar setup for both teams. So how does either side get the advantage? Could it come down to individual quality? Could it come down to the managers making those adjustments in the right moments? Where do you see the difference coming from today?
I think that managers is a massive part of it. As you say, if someone of Gareth Taylor's quality can make the difference, can make the tweaks that will win this game, then that could make all the difference. I think that it's a massive opportunity today for Everton because you mentioned there that there's Liverpool, they've got a few players out. They've also got a lot of players. They made 4 signings on deadline day. None of them can play today because that deadline day was Friday. Was Thursday. So I think that Everton need to take advantage of the fact that this isn't full strength Liverpool. The way they're playing today, the personnel on the pitch, this isn't Liverpool at full strength. So I think that Everton need to take advantage of that today and use the fact they've got all their quality available to go out and win this game, bar Kelly Gargo. I think that
But Gargo off the bench, that's fantastic impact, isn't it?
That is incredible. And that could make the difference. It's the kind of game, it's going to be a close one. It's going to go right down to the wire. And it will be those moments. That's what derbies are about. It's those magical moments from someone to step up and deliver that could win the game. Or, just any major moment. Look at the 2 games last season. Everton won it at Goodison Park 1-0 through a massive refereeing decision. They got a penalty that in no world was a penalty, but they still, they scored it and won the game. At Anfield, it's a really close game that Everton then kind of took away from Liverpool in the closing stages, and it got a bit messy, and we saw a red card in there as well. So these kind of derbies can be massively changed by refereeing decisions, by moments on the pitch that dictate the state of the game. So even if one side does take control today, it's certainly not over. I just think that I mentioned Liverpool aren't full strength. I also still think I look at the personnel and that Liverpool backline still looks shaky for me. Everton have got to take advantage of that. They've got to put that backline under pressure, and if they get an opportunity to shoot, they've got to do it. That's no offence to Faye Kirby, but this is only her 4th ever senior appearance for Liverpool. It's only her 12th senior appearance ever, 7 for Aberdeen, 4 for Liverpool if she's playing today. So it's a big moment for her. I think especially she's spent 9 years at the Everton Academy. So a massive moment for Kirby. Came through at Everton, joined Liverpool in 2022, has only had 3 senior starts for Liverpool since then, but given the nod today to start, massive moment for her. So But that massive moment comes with a lot of pressure, and I think Everton will want to put pressure on that back four, and if they can, get some shots on goal, test Kirby early, put her under pressure, and see if she falters. Because if Everton get an early goal here, I think Liverpool could really put on the back foot.
Yeah, the other thing I want to touch on, we will get into predictions shortly, but I think with Katja Snoy today, I was frustrated with her a lot last season because she's not great at playing as the sole striker, as sort of the out-and-out striker. But I think now, in this role, where she'll likely be more of a false nine or hold-up play forward, I think that could definitely work. I think she can definitely work in that position where she's creating chances for the likes of Vignola, for Katie Robinson, for Mamiki as well. That could be a huge change for Everton, having an attacking midfielder who is going to be heavily involved in the goals this season. We saw how influential Mamiki was at Leicester last season. So, yeah, I think she could be hugely important in this game for Everton today. A lot of people in the live chat, so too many really to welcome you all, but thanks to everyone getting involved. We're going to do our predictions now, so if you want to get involved, give your scoreline prediction in the live chat. We'll make sure to read them all through. We're going to start here in the studio, Harry. What is your prediction ahead of today's game?
I think it'll be a close one. I'm going to say Everton to just nick it, though, and make it another Merseyside derby win. I will say Liverpool 1, Everton 2. It's a massive question of will Everton keep up the consistent goal scoring that they had at the end of last season, and has Gareth Taylor managed to even somewhat solidify that leaky Liverpool defence. I think Everton will nick it though in a very, very close game. I will say the Toffees will open the scoring through Katie Robinson. I think it will then be an equaliser for Liverpool through Mia Enderby, but then it will be a winner late on from, I will say, Hayashi. She came out with some big goals last season for Everton. I think she'll deliver once again. Hayashi to get the winner, Everton to win the Merseyside derby 2-1, but overall it's going to be a very close, very competitive and combative football match.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really tight one. It's very difficult for me to predict. I think either side could come away with the win here. My concern for Liverpool is around their attack. I doubt how they're going to be able to find consistent goals. I don't think they've got an out-and-out goal scorer, especially not in the team that they're fielding today. So I do worry about their ability to find goals. And I think Everton defensively last season were really good, and I expect them to keep that up this season. I think they made some great additions in the back line. So I think Everton will get the win today. I'm going to say Liverpool 0, Everton 2. I just look at that Everton side and think across the board they're a bit stronger. But if the players for Liverpool, like Capox, like Enderby, step up, that can make a complete difference to me. Liverpool then become a really difficult side to handle. But I think if those players who have been so inconsistent in previous seasons can't now up their level with players like Smith gone and Haug not starting today, then I just wonder where the goals come from for Liverpool. So I'm going to say 2-0. I will go for a goal from Katja Snoyce. And I'm going to say Ishikawa as well.
Yeah, it's a really difficult one because we've both gone for Everton wins based off form, the window, and the lineups today. But at the end of the day, Liverpool have probably got the better manager in Gareth Taylor. If Taylor gets it right today,
I think it's Marshall. Though. I think Sorensen's incredibly underrated.
He is a good manager.
He's had such a poor Everton side for the last few years, and he's overperformed with it consistently.
That is true. I just think that if Taylor gets it right today, Liverpool will be very hard to play through. And I think that Everton will also find it hard to get on the ball. So that is one thing. But the home crowd, Liverpool got to try and use Anfield today. It is a pretty decent crowd, which is great to see, and they've got to try and use that. It's the biggest crowd we've seen at Anfield across even last year. That's the other thing that is kind of playing on my mind, is that this identical fixture was the second last game of last season. Liverpool welcome Everton to Anfield, and Everton won that match. So it hasn't been too long since we saw this Merseyside derby with Liverpool at home, which is why I think that does favour Everton a little bit. The games being pretty close, saying they're in completely different seasons, but it's very difficult conditions. It is throwing it down a little bit in Liverpool, which what more would you expect? But that's something that could change this game. Ball running on, skidding, harder for the goalkeepers. We're going to see some big tackles as well. So overall, it's going to be a close match. It's going to be a very, very entertaining Merseyside derby. And what a weekend it's been for the Dice Devils so far. Very interesting as well. Everton have won the toss and have spun Liverpool round. So they will attack the home fans in the first half, which is interesting. But whether things like that have any difference, we'll have to find out.
You reduce the familiarity, but ultimately, unless your pitch is on a slant, it doesn't have too much of an impact. So should be all right. Predictions then from the live chat. Alex going 1-0 Liverpool. Johannes saying an upset with a 3-1 Liverpool win. Phil going 3-1 Everton. RC saying 2-1 Everton and asking Harry if he can loan me some t-shirts. I do tend to be recycling through the same shirts on stream, but it's because I've only got Chelsea shirts, and then that's awkward to wear on a Merseyside derby. And then Shelley going 2-0 Everton. So a lot of different predictions then in the live chat. Some people backing Everton, some people backing Liverpool. The poll in chat, 46% for the visitors, 35% Liverpool, and then 19% saying draw. So again, fairly even, but it is in favour of Everton at the moment. And Liverpool here will get us underway. They're going to knock it long and force Everton under pressure immediately. So we're seeing this strategy a lot in the Premier League. And Gareth Taylor clearly taking inspiration from that. Liverpool have the kick-off, but they've punted it into the other team's corner. And now they'll look to just try and press Everton playing out from the back.
Fair enough. As you say, it's a tactic we've got used to in modern football. Also, I find interesting, obviously, Gareth Taylor, we know he doesn't like to be on the touchline in matches. Today, he is just in the stand. Because the stand with the dugouts in it is empty, he is just sat a few rows back. I don't know what he's going to do later on in the season, because we know he likes to sit in the crowd. It's the Gareth Taylor way of doing things. So it'd be interesting to see how that goes with Liverpool. Him and Amber Whiteley sat up there. It's an adjustment, and it'll be interesting to see what that's like, because Liverpool have gone from Matt Beard, who was very imposing on the touchline, Amber Whiteley was a bit of both, but now Gareth Taylor...
Matt Beard was on the pitch, I think, most of the time.
Yeah. Or in the stands because he'd been sent off. But I think that it'll be interesting to see how they cope with Gareth Taylor's more conservative style.
Lovely combination down the right-hand side here for Liverpool. Sam Kerr plays it inside. I think that was a poor touch rather than a pass on. It's a really nice combination play. Liverpool built up down the right-hand side. Fisk on the ball, knocks it inside. It's really good play between Kerr and Enderby and the wide player as well. Holland driving inside. Really nice combination. Didn't quite come off there, but Liverpool progressing the ball well to attack down Everton's left-hand side. The other interesting thing for Everton, Katie Robinson starting at right-back today then, rather than as a forward player, which is not her normal position. That's then pushed Mamiki from attacking midfield onto the left wing. Vignola's gone to the right wing. So we'll see how that looks then for Everton in this game. But it's a very different setup to what we expected, I think.
Yes. And that's the thing, it's interesting to see a lone player used in a new role. Let's see if how she copes with it. But again, that's something that Liverpool will be hoping to exploit early doors.
Yeah, Bonner back now to Evans. And Liverpool just settling into possession. Bonner back to Evans. Now across to Woodham. And that ball trying to look for the runner. Kapok's in behind. Doesn't quite come off. Strong physical in there from Herbinger. Everton still in possession though. Van Gool. And it goes back to the keeper, Brosnan. And now they'll look to play out Ishikawa. Go to Pacheco at left back. Now they'll go up the line here, Everton. Ball played in behind. Schneisser's going to try and get there, but the ball will run out of touch. And that's a Liverpool throw-in. So Everton trying to be quite direct at the moment. Liverpool trying to be a bit more possessional. I think that's fairly expected from a Gareth Taylor side to try and hold on to the ball as much as possible and break teams down with attacking combinations. But the question will be, do Liverpool have the technical ability to be able to play that football? And as I say that, Gemma Evans with a fairly poor pass out, and that's an Everton throw.
Yes, what we saw last year a little bit when Amber Whiteley came in, this was that they wanted more of the ball. Amber Whiteley wanted to play more possessional football, and while it did work at points, the brilliant win against Man United, it also did break down a lot because, as you say, the quality on the ball wasn't good enough. And also, I think they've made the deadline day signings were really promising, and that's why I think maybe today there could be a few teething issues because they're on the ball. I still don't think they've got the quality. But once you bring in Bernabei and Shimchak and players like that, suddenly that back line especially looks much better with the ball at their feet.
I think that's where the weakness is playing out from the back. Evans and Bonner are both not players who are incredibly comfortable with that. That is a fantastic pass from Evans in behind now, trying to find Holland. Holland can take on Pacheco, wants to put the ball into the box. Great block from the left back. Holland now circling back round, trying to deliver the ball into the penalty area. Fisk plays it into the half space. Great movement from Kerr. Now Holland, back to Kerr. Shifts it onto her right foot now, looking to get the ball into the box. Headed away well by Rion Ishikawa. And it's deemed a foul as well. Ishikawa caught by Enderby, who was trying to connect with the ball. Ends up catching the Japanese centre-half though.
Yeah, this game is going to vary so much because what we're seeing is that when, again, it's exactly what we're saying, when the combinations come off for Liverpool, they get up the pitch and they have a really exciting progressive move that gets them into the final third. But when they don't come off, Everton are putting them under loads of pressure and they're giving the ball away. So again, it's really going to ebb and flow, because when Everton can force those errors, they're going to be on the money. But if Liverpool can play through the Everton press, then Liverpool are going to create themselves some really good opportunities in this match.
Yeah, Enderby trying to spin the defender there. Rihanna Ishikawa does really well, though. Getting on her back, not letting her turn. Now Kirby. Evans looking for a forward pass. Nothing available. Back now to Kirby. And here's Bonner. Fisk. Again looking up the line. Great pressure from Mamiki, though, knocking it out of play. At the moment, Everton are just pinning in Liverpool a little bit too easily.
Yeah.
You feel that the midfield's got to be a bit more... It's got to be less static at the moment. It's not giving the backline many options in terms of who to pass out to. Risky football from Liverpool. They play out well. Here's Lily Woodham looking for those forward options. She's got space to drive into, though. Doesn't need to rush this pass, and she'll carry the ball forwards. Now Herbinger. Settles on the ball. Woodham now. Again, surveying her options. Back to Evans. And a pass forward into Woodham. Back to Evans. And now Fisk. Ball played in behind, looking for the overlapping run of Woodham. Tries to keep it in touch. Does really well there, the Welsh fullback. One back by Robinson, though. Kapox recovers it, and Liverpool could attack now. Herbinger. Lovely switch of the play to find Fisk. Fisk goes wider still into Holland. Nice control from Kerry Holland. Needs support, though. Back to Fisk. Pass inside. Great control from Nagano. Trying to squeeze a ball through the lines. Doesn't quite come off, and Everton have possession once again. They'll look to break now. Mamiki drives across Holland, looking to draw the foul. Doesn't quite get it, but does hold on to possession. Now Ishikawa. Very frantic game at the moment. Liverpool, I think, don't feel 100% assured in their setup. Everton at the moment just trying to be a bit more defensively set up. Looking more at their out of possession shape. Here is Martina Fernandez. Tidy pass down the line. Robinson keeps it in touch. Fernandez. Now Hayashi running out of space. Knocked out of play by Lily Woodham.
It's a difficult start. I think that Everton are just trying to settle in, and Liverpool have got the advantage a little bit at the moment of just being at home and being a little bit more aggressive and being a little bit more comfortable. Everton, a lot of new signings, away from home, just trying to settle into this game. But not a bad start for either. I think the first proper opportunity, we haven't had a good goal scoring opportunity yet. I think that's the next step, is which one of these sides can create something, can give themselves a big chance and a chance to get on the score sheet.
Headed forward by Ishikawa. One back in there by Nagano, and now Liverpool look to play out. Ball to the right-hand side. Here's Holland. Wants to take on Pacheco. Nice footwork from Kerry Holland. Ball into the box, and that's gone over everyone. Nice idea, though. And that's where I think perhaps Liverpool are missing a bit of aerial presence. If you've got a Haugen there, if you've got a Kiernan, someone that's going to try and connect with that cross. Enderby's dropped off, though, and it's actually Herbinger who makes the run towards the near post. But also Liverpool got to think about that with how they're putting the ball in the box. Yeah. Because they've got no one in there that's going to win a header today. So actually drilling it along the floor may be a better option. Everton trying to play out. Caught high up the pitch here. Here's Holland. Fisk. Now Bonner. Across to Evans. And again, Liverpool patient in possession. What they're doing really nicely, Liverpool, is always having a player on Nagano, which I think is really important when you want to stop her being able to dictate the game. Yeah. Because so far it's actually been Vignola leading the line, and then it's Snoyce just dropping a little bit deeper, and it's Hayashi on the right-hand side to start, which I think is very different to how we would have expected them to line up at all. Yeah. Hayashi slightly out of position, Vignola not a natural position, Katja Snoyce not a natural position. So it's a bit of an oddity from Sorensen, but we'll see how the system works. Brilliant give and go between Kerr and Holland. Holland bursting down the right-hand side with space to drive into, cuts it back, no one there. There was a half chance that Mia Enderby could have met that, didn't quite connect with it. And now Liverpool back in possession. Toppy's on the stream says, can't believe how difficult they're making it to watch WSL games. Yeah, I believe after this game week, there will be games in the UK on WSL YouTube. So I don't know if that's certain, but from what I've seen, there will be some next weekend. But the opening game week, it is all paywalled, apart from the BBC match, of course. But yeah, Sky have taken, I think, 90% of games, they say.
Yeah.
So a lot of action is behind a paywall this season. But that's why we're here for people who can't afford to watch the games, provide some sort of coverage. Here's Holland, pass inside. Tidy footwork from Kerr, who tries to release Holland down the line. Doesn't quite come off. Pacheco now with the inverted run. Waiting for support. Van Gool. Now Ishikawa. Brosnan. Tidy from Hayley Ladd. Back to Ishikawa. And Everton secure in possession. Pacheco down the line. And that's out of play for a Liverpool throw. I think at the moment, both sides, it's about who's going to start to take risks. Because what I've observed so far is Pacheco drove that ball forwards into midfield, and there was so much space to drive into.
Yeah.
But instead of carrying on with it and relying on a teammate to cover that position, she turned around, slowed it down, and went back into the back line. And Bonner did the same a few moments ago, where she drove the ball into midfield, and she could have played a progressive pass and looked to progress the attack, and she turned around and played it to the left back. And it's just going to be which side is going to gamble a bit, which side's going to take the risk first.
Yeah, it's nervy. It's really nervy. And I think it's one side just needs to settle.
Ball clipped in behind here, and Enderby will give chase. Kapox, looks to take on Fernandez. Cuts inside, chance for Kapox, and it's cannoned in off the crossbar, and Liverpool leads. Dangerous. Cornelia Kapox cuts inside and fires home emphatically. Liverpool 1, Everton 0. Phenomenal from Cornelia Kapox. Squares up Martina Fernandez. Sells her the dummy that she'll go outside. Cuts inside and unleashes a rocket past Brosnan. In off the crossbar, and Liverpool lead.
That is an incredible, incredible strike. And for people who have her in their aerial fantasy teams, that's even better. But brilliant play from Kapox. It's unplayable. It's absolutely brilliant. Just one ball over the top. It's a lovely little combination. Down the left-hand side. Kapox just brilliantly to beat Fernandez to it, and then comes inside and knocks it past her. Gets it out of her feet, and that is hit so well. Brosnan doesn't stand a chance. And we
lovely give and go.
Oh, it's incredible.
Excellent. And she picks up an assist for that.
And it's one of those where we speak about players stepping up for Liverpool in the final third. Kapox finally, last season Liverpool didn't have a role for her. Didn't really have a position on the pitch that suited her. Now though, on that left-hand side, cutting inside, she can deliver. And this is a brilliant goal.
I think Martina Fernandez, I know it's difficult because she's backtracking at the same time, but she just gets a little bit too square with the ball, and when Kapox darts inside, she's then caught out.
Yeah.
Taylor and Amber Whiteley, not even a smile over that goal. Stone faces, maybe they'll celebrate at the end.
Business as usual. But again, that was Gareth Taylor 101, that goal. Move the ball around the back, just get comfortable in possession, pop it into your creative player, Herbinger, who finds a brilliant ball, little give and go between Kapox, and suddenly she's away.
Tidy wide combinations, get players running in behind.
It's exactly what we saw with the likes when with Hemp at City under Taylor. When you pop it inside to someone like a Park or a Miedemar or whoever was playing in that role, they'd pop it into Hemp, and Hemp was off.
The only difference is that rather than having an out-and-out winger on that side who's then looking to square it to someone like Khadija Shaw, you've got Kapox who wants to dart inside, wants to be the dangerous player herself. And actually with Smith gone now, is this the season that Cornelia Kapox could really step up into that starting role? We'll have to wait and see. Liverpool in possession now then.
It also comes back to what we said earlier about catching Katie Robinson out too high. Just got dragged in by the give and go, followed Kapox inside, and then Kapox gave it Herbinger and spun, and Robinson just didn't go with her.
Alex letting us know Manchester United 1-0 up. Goal there for Ella Toon, assisted by Elizabeth Turland. Presumably then that's Turland laying it off to Toon. And they lead against Leicester. And Leicester, going into this season, there was already concerns over where they may sit in the pecking order. And that is a tough start to what was already going to be a difficult game. Liverpool in possession then. Wooden breaking down the left-hand side. Can she bring others into this attack? It's a good drive from Lily Woodham. Now releases it wide into Kapox. And this time she squares up to Robinson. Here's Hervinger. Back to Woodham. Liverpool wanting to switch the play. Now Nagano. A lot of players all in a tight space here for Liverpool. But they have won a free kick in there. A little bit clumsy from Hayley Ladd.
Yeah, Liverpool are controlling things. Again, it's if you're Gareth Taylor, you are sat there and you are loving this first 15 minutes. It's exactly what he would have wanted. Control of the ball, control of the game, taking the early lead. And Everton just do not look comfortable right now in this match. It is all Liverpool at the moment.
And this is the problem. When you set up to defend and then you concede so early into the match, now the game plan's out the window. But Liverpool, 77% possession so far.
Wow. Welcome to Gareth Taylor ball. But it works. I think it's effective. People forget that just because they don't like his handling of the Kelly situation and the fact that City dipped off form. But his football most of the time does work.
Well, yeah, they're very effective in every other season apart from last season. Great opportunity here from the set piece. And Bonner fires against the bar. Cleared away by Everton. And Liverpool with a corner to keep the pressure dial firmly on.
That is a massive let-off for Everton because who is picking up Gemma Bonner at the back post? She's unmarked from the initial ball. No one's with her. It's hung towards the back post. Bonner does so well to get this goalwards, crashing off the crossbar.
And that easily could have been 2-0 Liverpool with another one in off the bar. There was actually a touch in there from Courtney Brosnan. Brilliant stop. Pushes it up onto the bar. Denying Gemma Bonner. Ball into the box now. That one headed away well by Katja Snice. But Everton need to get out now. Flicked on by Vignola. They can't play out with Van Gaal, though. One back in there by Robinson, who launches it the other direction. And then flicked back right to her, but she heads it away well. Drops in there for Sam Kerr. Game becomes boisterous. That was a little over the top there from Snice. And that's a Liverpool free kick.
And again, things are just starting to snowball for Everton. You've been under pressure. You've gone a goal down. You're suddenly conceding a few free kicks. From one of those free kicks, Liverpool just hit the bar again. So you're now really starting to feel the pressure. It's now been a succession of fouls. A lot of chances for Liverpool. Everton have got to find a way to get themselves into this match.
Yeah, indeed. And they're coming forwards now. Mamiki holds onto the ball well, looking for a teammate. Pacheco. Now Ishikawa. And they're just going to calm the ball. They're just going to calm everything down at the moment, Everton. Looking to actually get on the ball for the first time in this game. Mamiki brought down there. Play continues though as Everton hold possession. Pass out from Pacheco was poor. Now the referee goes back and gives the foul. A little bit of a late call.
Yeah,
But I'll take that.
I think the other thing to praise Liverpool on is that, unlike I think what people got frustrated with Gareth Taylor football, is how because in terms of it got a bit slow at City, but the pace to this game has been really fast, and Liverpool are playing at a very, very good tempo.
Yeah, looking at a replay of that United goal, I feel like Leicester could have done better in every stage of defending that situation. Courtney Brosnan down with some discomfort here.
This is the last thing Everton need. I spoke about things snowballing and getting up against them. If they would lose Brosnan now to an injury, that would be very unfortunate. But it does give an opportunity for Brian Sorensen to get his players in and to just regroup a little bit. Gareth Taylor also getting his side in, finding himself now on the pitch. But yeah, a lot to be said, you feel, for Everton. They need to find a way just to get a foothold in this match. Even if they can just start to come forwards a little bit more consistently. But at the moment, they're barely getting a touch on the ball.
Yeah, they've struggled for any sort of stranglehold in the game. Liverpool have been the dominant force. Everton yet to register a shot. Liverpool able to just they've just found space. They've been able to move the ball a lot quicker than Everton. Phil says, could this be a tactical injury? Very much could be. Everton do need this respite, and Brosnan is all right to continue now. So we'll get play back underway. Possibly a tactical injury there, and Gareth Taylor goes back into the stands.
He's quite high up as well. He's not like he's just sat in the row behind. He's right up the top.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also think the conditions will be helping Liverpool. When you want to play possession football, with the surface being so wet, it's absolutely chucking it down. With the ball is moving so quickly. You know, and Everton are almost chasing shadows at this point.
Yeah. They've had a zip to their play at the moment, Liverpool. It's looked good. That one, not a great clearance from Martina Fernandez, ends up sending it the wrong way. Robinson now under pressure, goes back to her goalkeeper. Enderby will look to put her under here, but Everton play out of that situation well. Fernandez trying to find Hayashi with an accurate pass, but it's going to bounce around. Liverpool back in possession now. Nagano.
For her first 20 minutes as a permanent Everton player, Martina Fernandez has probably had one to forget.
Yeah, I think she's not dealt well with the conditions.
No.
I think she's struggled to read the flight of the ball a few times now, struggled to keep up with the pace of the ball. And Mocha Potts is going to put her under pressure again here because it's a ball. And what Liverpool are doing at the moment very well is just putting speculative balls in behind.
Yeah.
You know, a couple there, which I think is something that Taylor's probably ran down there and said to them because they're putting the Everton backline under pressure and it's gaining them, you know, they're getting pressure higher up the pitch, which is brilliant to see. So Liverpool looking to make something happen. One back by Everton though. Hayashi wants to go up the line. Woodham reclaims it. Robinson tries again to find that pass down the line. Doesn't quite work out. And it's out of play for an Everton throw. For a Liverpool throw.
Yeah, Everton just... I'm intrigued to see what Brock Sorensen said when we had that stoppage for the injury because they've got to. It's difficult to change something at this point in the match. You know, when you are under pressure, and it was just an injury stop. It's not half time. You can't really implement any major tactical or any tweaks. So I'm intrigued to see what he would have said. You know, to go out. Still got. You know, we're not even halfway through this 45, so a long way to go in this first half. But they've got to find something in this match. No shots so far. Barely had a kick of the ball. Need to get themselves into this game.
Yeah, indeed. Klaus asks, where is Rafa? To be honest, we're not sure. We expected Rafaela Borgraf to start today's game, but not even in the squad. So, yeah, I'm sure Taylor will be asked about that in the... Well, we'd like to hope Taylor's asked about that in the post-match presser. Why was there no involvement for Borgraf today? But Kirby hasn't been tested yet.
I say she'll be loving life.
Moment she's in for a very cold and wet but comfortable afternoon.
Yeah. For your first senior appearance for Liverpool since 2023, it's not a bad way to go. Not at the space of shots so far.
Plays it long into Enderby, brings it down well. Can she take on Ishikawa here? Mia Enderby looks to take her on. Gets past the centre back, ball across the box, dealt with well by the recovering Van Gould. But again, that ball trying to find Enderby. They're trying to be a bit more direct at the moment, Liverpool. They've gone from playing... They're still playing their possessional stuff at the back, but rather than trying to find the perfect pass, they're happy just to try and play those balls in behind. Looking to be quite direct at the moment.
And that there is exactly why Enderby's in the side. The ball goes into the channel, she makes the run, and then you saw there Holland ran inside and ran into the penalty area. Herbinger came as well, but an Everton player did just manage to clear it and put it out for a corner.
Right, as I was saying, I'm regretting getting all excited about Everton this season. This is why I always say not to pay too much attention to pre-season. Ball into the box. Liverpool trying to make something happen, but they can't meet it, and it's cleared away by Hayley Ladd. And it's in behind for Vignola, who's made the run off of Woodham. Now, can she take her on? Can she beat the player? Vignola, tidy footwork, still coming forwards here. Cuts back onto her left foot. Can she get the shot away? Oh. Can it's one hell of a strike. Welcome to the WSL, Vignola. Everton with nothing to speak of in the way of chances in the first 22 minutes. But it's a long ball from Ladd. Vignola keeps going, keeps wanting to take on the player, eventually cuts back onto her left foot and curls one into the far corner. Liverpool 1, Everton 1.
Wow, and this sums up football brilliantly. You can be out of a game for the first 22 minutes, but somehow find a goal from nothing. It's a brilliant breakaway from the corner. And Vignola starts the run in her own half. Gets the wrong side of the defenders who should do better there.
Too high for Liverpool.
Yeah, you committed so many players forward and Holland just allows Vignola to be behind her, but despite the fact she's in her own half. It's too easy. What a finish, though. Take nothing away from the goal. But really, really sloppy defending and Liverpool been caught out there. But what a run. What a move. And an even better strike. And I tell you what, they have been very much up against it, Everton.
That's a brilliant cutback onto her left foot, opens up the space and the angle for the shot, and curls one past Kirby. You've got to say the keeper should do better. I feel the positioning there, she's too close to the front post, and she just tries to swat at it. If she was set there, she may well have got to it. But that is a great finish.
And now suddenly, the game's suddenly completely different. You know, it's just gone from being all Liverpool, one-way traffic, Liverpool in control, to Everton. They get one counter from a corner. It's their first shot of the game, and they find the back of the net.
Yeah, and while the scoreline is levelled here, United are taking a further advantage, 2-0 after 24 minutes there. Elizabeth Turland with a goal set up by Jade Riviere.
That could get messy.
So already Leicester really struggling in that match. As things get even here, they get less even at United versus Leicester. Ball in behind again from Everton, looking for Vignola, will drop in there for Snoyce, and they can use this now. Everton, Snoyce will take aim from range. And well, that one a little too speculative, and it's a comfortable claim for Kirby.
And again, already look at the momentum shift. Everton find a goal for nothing, and suddenly they've had another shot on target.
And you see that Evans panics, steals to the ball just by clearing it in any way that she can. It drops for Snoyce. Snoyce's decision making's got to be better in there. Now Liverpool, though, coming forwards. Kapox switches the play. Lovely ball in behind for Holland. And Liverpool can use this now. They've got numbers forward. Holland looking to drive inside. Puts it into the box. Enderby can't quite get there. Herbinger, can she turn it goalwards? No, she can't. Poked away by Hayashi. Liverpool really should have found a goal from that opportunity.
How was that not end up in the back of the net? Holland could have scored initially. Then Enderby nearly got something on it.
Oh, couldn't quite stretch. Herbinger scuffed the shot. If she'd made clean contact, it's 2-1 Liverpool.
Robinson just laid on the floor and hoped that was enough, and it did the job. Fernandez was very aggressive on Enderby there. I think it was just all right, though.
And now they'll look to break away again. Everton, Vignola wants to poke it through the lines. Woodham does enough there to offset her. And the pass ends up going astray.
And again, we spoke about this a lot. I know there's still a long way to go in this game, but we spoke about this a lot with Liverpool. Especially, I remember last season, they started with a draw to West Ham and a draw to Crystal Palace when they were the better side in both those games by a mile, and they still managed to draw them. And again, are we seeing the same principles for Liverpool, being the better team but not coming away with results? There is over half an hour to play here, I know, but based on the first 27 minutes, Liverpool should be 2 or 3-0 up, let alone drawing in this game.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because they've had all of the ball, but they haven't really created any chances other than the Kapox one and the one they've just had. So it's difficult to say that. Ball in behind, and Enderby's in. It's a great ball. Enderby's got to make use of this. Great defending from Ishikawa initially. Drops now for Enderby. Can she get a shot away? Lovely footwork. Still going, Mia Enderby. Brilliant block by Martina Fernandez. Now Holland. Can she create an opportunity? Herbinger. And that's a poor pass. Enderby not quite on her toes. Mia Enderby's got to do better there in behind.
That's where you need a two-footed player. Because Enderby, it's a great run. Then she does really well initially, and then she does even better to then force the mistake from Ishikawa, wins it back.
She dummies it really nicely here. And Ishikawa's down.
Doesn't want to go to her left foot. Doesn't want to go to her left foot and takes herself way too wide. Had to cut it inside there. But again, wanted to stick to her favoured right foot. But sometimes you've just got to... You've got to use your weaker foot there and shift it to your left.
Yeah, and I think that's something that Gareth Taylor will be keen for Mia Enderby to work on. I think that's one of the biggest things that we'll see from Liverpool this season is perhaps the strikers getting a bit more individual coaching. Gareth Taylor obviously was a striker in his day, so you'd imagine that's an area that he'll be strong at.
Yeah. And
now we get a Sky Sports interview, so we have to watch the game on a smaller screen for a moment while they talk to Megan Finnegan. Liverpool in possession. Kapox tries to flick it on. Martina Fernandez gets it clear though, and it drops in there for Ornella Vignola, and that's a ball in behind. Well cut out by Gemma Evans. If not, they were in trouble. Liverpool would have been backpedaling again. Here is Bonner. Phil says Vignola will be a problem on the break for the top teams. Yeah, very much could be. If they're going to use her as that number 9, could be a problem on the counter. Lily Woodham coming forwards here for Liverpool, trying to put the ball into the box. It's blocked well by the recovering Van Gaal, and that will be a Liverpool corner.
Liverpool reacted well. It's very easy to lose your way when a team equalise against a run of play. It's very easy to just lose your footing and panic a little bit. But Liverpool done well. They've got straight back on top. They're straight back on the ball, and they're coming forwards once again. But they just need to start getting more shots off because they're getting into the final third. We saw that with Enderby, but she didn't actually get a shot from it. Well, she did technically, but it got blocked. But Liverpool got to start turning these moves and these chances into actual shooting opportunities.
Yeah, into better quality opportunities,
Yeah.
indeed. Oh, we'll have a stoppage before this corner as the referee wants to talk to players about grappling in the penalty area.
I say the Liverpool train lining up just in front of the penalty spot. Bonner, Evans, Holland, and is that Kerr all lined up in there.
Ball delivered in towards the back post, and that's headed away well by Ishikawa. A drop in there for Nagano, who strikes it well, and it comes off an Everton player, and it's another corner.
Don't mind that at all. In these kind of conditions, ball fell nicely to her. She caught it well. It could go anywhere, and in the end wins a corner.
Yeah, that easily could have just skidded straight towards the goal, and that's a difficult one for Brosnan to deal with. And either way, it gives Liverpool another chance to put the ball into the box. It's onto the goalkeeper. Fisk tries to bundle it home. Doesn't quite work out. It's punched away well. Liverpool retain possession, though. Here's Kapox. Can she bring a teammate into the game? Uses Fisk, who's high up the pitch. Ball into the box. Good delivery, but no one in there to meet it. And it's headed away well. Liverpool got to stop crossing it in the air.
Yeah.
But it's all right when they've got a corner and Bonner's in there and Fisk is in there and you're looking to try and aim at those players. But they don't have any tall attackers.
I think you can again. It's simply training and getting used to a system because what's happened. I feel like we're seeing a little bit is that there are still in their own half. It's very much Gareth Taylor football. In the final third, half the time we're seeing Taylor football. Half the time we're still seeing a little bit more Matt Beard and a little bit more Amber Whiteley. They just need to iron that out and again. Get used to cutting it back and keeping the ball on the deck and getting shots away rather than just trying to cross it and hope someone's in there.
Fisk to Nagano. Back now to Bonner. Romain Johnson mentioning the United score. Yeah, we have seen that they've got a second in that game. Leicester struggling really to compete seemingly.
Yeah, and the other two games still goalless.
There's not been a shot on target yet in Tottenham West Ham. So, there you go.
Brilliant.
Be interesting to see how that one progresses. Ball in mind from Everton, speculative, and that'll run straight through to Kirby.
Not been a
Liverpool
shot on
in
target.
possession.
I'm intrigued to see, again, that's an interesting one. So between Tottenham and West Ham. Again, another new manager, Martin Ho, coming in. Brighton Villa, I'm not surprised it's 0-0 because that, for me, on paper, is a very, very close game.
Yeah, two really competitive teams, but also two teams where you've got Villa, who are set up really well defensively last season. Brighton, who I think won't want to take too many risks early on because they've got quite a new back line. So they'll be keen just to keep things clean early on and then look to play out a bit more aggressively later on.
Brighton's home record last season was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, that's true as well.
I think they only lost one game because they beat Arsenal at home. They drew to Chelsea at home. They're at the Broadfield Stadium. They've been really, really strong. So it's a difficult place to go for Villa.
Yeah. A replay of that United goal. Great ball into the box from Riviere and a Turland header. I think we'll see that a lot this season. But Leicester fail really to deal with that situation at all.
Yeah, work to be done for Leicester and Rick Passmore. I think that the poor bloke's only been in there 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, Alex saying United's so much better with Janssen at centre back and Ziggiotti in midfield. Well, I said they would be. I said for ages that Janssen at centre back will be so much better than Millie Turner, and United fans got annoyed at me because they didn't like the fact I said that Millie Turner isn't the best centre back in the world. But Janssen's such a big upgrade in that position. Cut back here, chance for Liverpool. Holland's effort blocked. And they'll look to keep it alive here with Kerr. Holland wants to come inside, doesn't quite work out. Now it's with Nagano. As his Leicester defence look poor. Well, they've lost a lot and they've lost Mikel. which I find is, odd. Passmore's come in and with 11 days before the start of the season has to, put in his own structure and get the players ready for a game. It's no surprise they're struggling.
Especially away to Man United.
Well, exactly. It was going to be a tough game anyway. But Leicester were good at getting results in those sorts of games. I just can't understand why Mikel was sacked anyway. Vignola trying to take on Bonner. Bonner wins it back and Liverpool are back in possession. Here's Kirby. Liverpool looking to play out. Evans. Hang on, something's happening with the camera.
Oh.
Try and sort that out. I hope you can still hear us fine. But do bear with us. We're having the same technical difficulties that the WSL is having at the moment with their international coverage. But luckily there's not too much to see. Phil, thank you for letting us know in the live chat as well. Here's Fisk. Ball down the line to Holland. Pass inside is cut out and Everton now will look to break away. Mamiki, pass inside, chance for Cassius Snice breaking into the box. That one dealt with now. Liverpool will look to play out. Nagano. Herbing around the corner into Woodham. Look at that. We've fixed it quicker than the WSL have fixed their international coverage. Well done, Harry, on that one. Here's Holland. Good job that didn't happen yesterday. We did have a weird lens flare moment, or so I don't know what it's called. Liverpool coming down the right-hand side. Holland breaks, cuts in well. Can she get a shot away? It's a good effort off the far post. And she's unlucky not to find the back of the net with that one. Cuts inside well. Looking to nestle it in the far corner, but can't quite manage it. Capox, Woodham. Goes back to Woodham. Now Capox. Just combining well, waiting to draw the Everton players in. They're trying to do the same thing they did for the Capox goal. Hasn't quite worked that time though. Wasn't the space in behind. Johansson looked like the camera was wearing glasses. Falling behind. Looking for Enderby. And that's dealt with well by Brosnan. Pass forward from Robinson into Ladd. One back well by Herbinger, but it's deemed too aggressive. And that's not a surprise, really.
Yeah. It's
Holland ruining this opportunity.
Yeah, there's been some really good chances down this right-hand side. This one registering a shot, and I tell you, it's not a bad effort from Holland at all. But if anything, the Liverpool players were too eager to follow in.
It's one of those where if she'd hit it any more centrally, it would have been dealt with by Ishikawa. So it's actually brilliant positioning from the centre-back that forces it a little wider, and that's why it comes off the post.
And the two Liverpool players rushing in actually they ran in so quickly, they ran past the ball.
Yeah.
And because the ball hit the counter post and flew straight back in, it was a very difficult one. But Liverpool getting a lot of joy coming forwards down this right-hand side using Holland, but still can't find the goal to put them back ahead. And that is the one thing that is keeping Everton alive. Is that on the scoreline, they are very much still level, despite the fact for the first 37 minutes of this game, they have been second best.
Yeah, absolutely. Everton now with a free kick then. And they use this as a chance to play out from the back. Here's Martina Fernandez. Wait for the referee to sort of get us back underway. Ishikawa. Knocks it back to Fernandez. Pass inside. Knocked wide well by Ladd. Here's Robinson. Back now to Fernandez. That's inside to Van Gaal. Nice turn out. And she finds Ishikawa with the pass. Ishikawa just holding on to possession. Now goes wide to Pacheco. And it's back again to Rion Ishikawa. And they're under pressure now, Everton. As Liverpool look to try and turn it over out the pitch. And they have done. And just trying to react too quickly there, Herbinger. It was a really poor pass from Hayley Ladd. Herbinger picks up on it. Just doesn't get the contact with it that she would have wanted. And it trickles wide.
Wow.
But brilliant press. That's why they win the ball back.
Yeah, I think Everton almost put themselves under unnecessary pressure. They had the ball with Ishikawa, who just stood on it for ages. And just no one did anything. No one moved.
But even so, lads trying to play out too quickly there.
Yeah,
and just got it all wrong.
Irving has rushed it completely. What another opportunity, another let off for Everton.
It's a great tackle from Nagano, wins the ball back and stops Everton looking to counter. And Liverpool back in possession. Evans, Bonner. Back to Evans. Here's Capox. Brought down in there by Robinson. That will be a Liverpool free kick. Curbing a paw, says Alex. Yeah, I think the problem is she wasn't expecting it at all. And she just reacted so late, trying to get some sort of contact behind it, and it just scuffs it a bit.
The other problem was it was on the volley. It was in the air, so she chested it down and just tried to swing at it on the volley. If that's on the floor, then she probably just passed it into the net.
From Holland there to beat Pacheco. Now has to slow down though. Doesn't have the options ahead of her. Cuts back. Uses Fisk. Fisk waiting for a forward pass. Tries to go to Holland. Misplaced though. I think Liverpool will look a lot stronger once Fisk is back at centre back.
Yeah.
And they've got a right back on the field. Because I think Fisk at the moment is just struggling with getting those passes down the line.
Yeah.
But when she's at centre back, she's got more of the pitch to use. I think she looks really comfortable. But yeah, just looks like she hasn't got enough space at right back. And then you've got Bonner and Evans, neither of whom are brilliant with retaining possession.
Yeah.
They're quite good playing balls in behind though. That's why they've looked quite good. Liverpool being a bit more direct today. But I think for the brand of football that Gareth Taylor is aiming to produce, Fisk at centre back will be more conducive of that. Here is Herbinger. Cammy saying, wow, it should be 1-0 West Ham. How's that game gone then? It'd be great if we could have some correspondence from other matches. West Ham still haven't put a shot on target though, so I imagine they've got a great opportunity and not managed to hit the target with. Nagano.
It's slightly worrying. I did captain Asahi in aerial fantasy, so
Bold.
I could do
3 Tottenham players.
That is.
And Vinberg hasn't even played, so that's great. Luckily, I do have Riviere and Turland's captain, so that's going quite well. Holland goes down the line, tries to cut back, doesn't quite work out. Does now chip the ball into the box, but Brosnan able to claim that one comfortably.
Holland did so well to send Pacheco that she also sent herself and just got caught on top of the ball. But again, still more progress, more joy down the right-hand side. Pacheco is struggling a little bit up against Holland. Holland is causing a lot of issues, but the problem is for Liverpool is that those issues aren't turning into goals.
Yeah, they're not capitalising on them. Van Gaal looks to release Pacheco down this left-hand side. That'll be one back by Fisk. And then cleared forwards by Kirby. Van Gaal trying to settle in possession. Does now get the ball down. They can play. Goes back to Ishikawa. Now Brosnan. Risky pass across the face of goal. But it does find Fernandes. Hayashi. Into Robinson. Now Snice. Nagano. Van Gaal wants to carry the ball forwards. Alex saying the fantasy review will be interesting, especially in defence. Yeah, no one's kept a clean sheet yet this weekend.
Yeah, true. That is very true.
So, yeah, going big at the back hasn't really worked out, unless, obviously, you've got United players who look like they may well keep a clean sheet in that game.
Yes.
And obviously, there are teams keeping a clean sheet in the other 12 o'clock games, but they've still got a long time to go in those matches. But yeah, that will feature on Tuesday's show. So if you are a fan of aerial fantasy and want to see us cry about how bad our teams are looking, then we'll discuss that at the end of Tuesday's show. So look out for that. Everton on the ball. Ishikawa. Now Ladd. Plays it to Fernandes. And now back to Robinson. Here's Fernandes. Ladd. Lifts it out to the right-hand side. Headed away. Of course, it's not keen on Snice in this role. No, I think they'd do a lot better to have a natural winger on the left-hand side and then Mamiki in the 10. I think you'd get the same out of that 10 role, but a bit more of an attacking threat, and you probably get more out of another wide player. To have two more, Hayashi on one side and then Mamiki on the other. I mean, it makes sense because when you see what they're doing in possession, Pacheco's dropping deep, Mamiki's coming wide, and Robinson's pushing up. So they're looking to create width with the right back. But I just feel that's a weird way to do it when Pacheco's comfortable coming forward, as we're seeing here with a great drive. Here's Hayashi. Now out to the right-hand side with Robinson. Pacheco now joining the attack on the opposite flank to where she started. Robinson into the box. Hayashi looking to meet it. Brilliant tackle from the recovering Holland. Here's Van Gaal. Takes aim from range. Cannons off of Bonner. Hayashi looking to meet it. It's cleared away just about. Woodham swings a leg at it. Now it drops like a box and Liverpool can play football. But yeah, Pacheco there gets forward and adds a huge threat to the Everton attack. 4 minutes of additional time in this game. I just find it's weird to be using Robinson in that role. I think the better way to do it would be putting a centre-back at right-back, inverting them into a back three, and then having Robinson as a natural right winger pushing wide, have Pacheco overlapping, and then if you want someone on the left-hand side who's coming inside, which could very much be Mamiki. I think the way around they're doing it is completely wrong.
Yeah.
I'd take Snoice out and push, and then put a centre back on and push Hayashi into midfield and Robinson onto the right wing. I think you get the same in possession effect they're looking to create, but you get a bit more threat. I think you look a bit more defensively solid, and you get Pacheco higher up the pitch. Alex says, guys, I must say, Leicester defensively are shocking. I can see them getting relegated. Leipzig can't save everything. Yeah, it does look concerning for them at present. Still a long way to go in this season, though. Robinson. Now looking to make something happen. Tries to put the ball into the box. It's blocked and out for a corner. Remember, we had those discussions about Everton last December. Where we were saying they were similar on points with Crystal Palace. It looked like that would be a very close relegation fight. Their January was incredible, and they completely transformed their fortunes. So you never know. Things could change very quickly.
And, I mean, the lifeline is that even if they have a terrible season, they could still rescue it in the relegation playoff game. But, as you say, it's very much not over. They've played 45 minutes against a very good Man United side. So, still a lot of points to play for and a lot of games to be played.
Ball into the box then, doesn't come on. Ball delivery from Pacheco. And that's a Liverpool goal kick.
Tough first half in an Everton shirt for Maz Pacheco.
I think she struggled defensively, but I think the problem is they're using her as like a left centre-back rather than with how it looks in possession. They're not getting the attacking returns you'd expect from her. Yeah. And yeah, she just keeps getting caught out in that position. It's leaving the centre-backs exposed. So I think that's something that Sorensen should revisit the drawing board on and consider how to get the best out of this team.
Because as we said in the build-up, it's the familiar system we know Sorensen and Everton play, but there's a lot of new personnel.
Yeah.
And maybe that familiar system doesn't suit the personnel. So either you've got to change the people, or you've got to change the system.
Yeah, AR, welcome to the stream, asking which team do you support? We are both Chelsea fans, but we do try and be neutral as possible on this coverage. So, yeah, it's nice coming forward. Looking to create something for Everton now. Back to Van Gaal, out to the left-hand side. Here's Pacheco. Not a bad ball at all. Looking for Katja Snoice. Great ball, great header. And Everton lead. What a ball from Maz Pacheco. Snoice adding that aerial presence into the box. Heads home emphatically. And it's Liverpool 1, Everton 2. And it's another one where I question whether Kirby maybe could have done better. It was the most powerful of headers from Katja Snoice, but she directed it well across goal into the far corner. And Everton lead Liverpool.
That's why you have Katja Snoice in that role. But I tell you what, I have so many questions for Liverpool.
Snoice just drifts off a player and then finds herself in space.
Oh, that's too easy. She's in such an open gap. Kirby gets a hand to it but can't keep it out. How is Snoice unmarked in the middle of the penalty area?
That's a brilliant delivery from Pacheco to pick her out. What Snoice does really well here is makes the run between the two centre-backs. She drifts off of Herbinger, behind Nagano. Nagano's not aware of her, and neither centre-back decides to pick her up.
Yeah.
She just drifts in between the two, and that's where she finds that pocket of space. Pacheco with a beautiful delivery, picks her out well, and that's how Everton find the lead. As we go into half-time there with the half-time whistle, it's Liverpool 1, Everton 2.5, which Liverpool started so dominantly, so emphatically, sees Everton lead at the break. But that definitely doesn't tell the full story. Everton had 4 shots converted, 2 of them. Liverpool 9 shots, only 1 goal. I mean, not even arguably, they have had the better chance in this half, Liverpool, but it's Everton who lead at half-time.
That's a massive kick in the teeth if you are a Liverpool fan and for Gareth Taylor's side, because not only is it a goal conceded in a game where they probably should be winning and they're now losing, but to concede that late on in a match, that is really, really clumsy. Minute to go to half-time, you've played 48, nothing silly. You mark your players, you stop balls in the box, and you get into half-time at 1-1 if you're under pressure. How? I am just so baffled as to how Katja Snoys was so unmarked. How has no one picked her up? In the penalty area, 3 players stood there doing nothing. It's a free header. It's a good header, don't get me wrong. But it's a good header because she's had the time and the opportunity to pick where she wants to put it and place it perfectly. Kirby should 100% do better, get a strong hand to it, and can only tip it into the side netting, and probably should have kept it out.
That's the thing, she gets a full hand to it, but it's just weak. You've got to push that away. I think she's got to do better on that one. There wasn't much power on the header. It's nice because of Pacheco's ball being a little behind her. She had to readjust, and she didn't get loads behind the header. I think the goalkeeper's got to do better there, and I think the goalkeeper could have done better for the first one as well. But Liverpool defensively have had problems across the board.
Yeah, it's one of those where, don't get me wrong, we've definitely seen some positives and we've seen some changes that Gareth Taylor's brought in. But again, we get to half-time and Liverpool are losing because of the exact same reasons last season. You know, goalkeeper quality potentially not being up to scratch, defensive mistakes, and really sloppy on the ball, or just giving it away needlessly. The amount of times they've got into the final third and rather than get the ball down, play football, they've just smashed it in the penalty area when they've got no one to aim for. Or in the middle of the pitch, they turn it over, and then just as quickly as they've turned it over, they give it straight back to Everton again. Defensively, not picking up their players, misclearing the ball, swinging at a ball and missing it. It's the same errors, it's the same basic, fundamentals that Liverpool are getting wrong, and it's letting them down. Because for 20-25 minutes, they look like a top side playing good football with a manager that wants to get on the ball and play possession stuff. As soon as Everton equalised, yes, there was a bit of a response from Liverpool, and they did do well 5-10 minutes after it. But the errors are just, you cannot afford them at this level. It's too costly. Basics of defending. Don't get me wrong, Everton have done well, and we'll get into that. But for Liverpool, got to get when are they going to start getting the basics right? And it's got to the point where it's the same errors happening under the third manager now, and it speaks volumes about the personnel for me. And we spoke about this, that Everton have got to take advantage while Liverpool aren't at full strength. Bernard Bay not available to start just yet. Neither is Shimchak. Neither are any of the other signings they made on deadline day or towards the deadline. And it's the same personnel from last season, still making the same errors. And nothing will change until those new players are available to play, which is unfortunate. And hopefully those new players can make the difference and can shore up that defence. But I said it in the build-up, if Gareth Taylor can't solidify that Liverpool backline, they're going to have another season where they really struggle to keep a tight ship at the back.
Yeah, that's exactly as Giannis has said. Liverpool's defence is really just as leaky as he said before the match. The attack in midfield create good chances though, and that's the thing. I think Liverpool should be in the lead here. They've had good opportunities. They've played really nice football. But as I said before kickoff, and my concern for Liverpool this season is where do the goals come from? Because you look at the front line, Kapok's really nice finish, but that's the only opportunity she's really had. When Enderby and Holland have been in those positions, we haven't seen great strikes. And they've been so wasteful in front of goal. And that was my concern. I don't look at who else comes in the side. I mean, maybe Haug or Keenan would have scored one of the opportunities that they had. But I don't think they've done enough to replace Olivia Smith. Kapox will get probably a higher tally than she did last season, but where are the rest of the goals coming from? Because I don't think they've got a natural striker, and yes, Enderby has looked good at making the runs in this game, but her finishing hasn't really been there. And Holland is more of a central midfielder than she is a winger. and she's a good creator, but she's not really a finisher. So I do have concerns about where those goals come from for Liverpool. And they've created chances in that first half. They just haven't been able to take them. XG value of 1.19 compared to 0.38. And that's the difference between Everton having 2 forward players who have taken chances they really shouldn't have, and Liverpool having forward players who've had good opportunities they haven't converted.
Yeah, I think the jury's still out for me, but because what we're seeing is it's just mixed messages. But for one of them, is that the amount of times that they've had a brilliant passage down the right hand side, Holland's got into a great position, and then just lofted it into the box. Who are you lofting it to? Enderby is a striker that's looking for a ball. You've got everyone in the penalty area basically. It is not wanting a ball in the air. Everyone arriving in the box is wanting the ball on the floor, cut back to the penalty spot, cut back to the to the edge of the 18-yard box, or smashed across goal, not lofted into the air. And that's the problem, is that when Liverpool have got good opportunities, we've even seen it when they've recycled corners. Get the ball out and just hoof it into the penalty area like they're some lower table side under Matt Beard who just want to try and score as many goals, smash and grab goals as they can. They're not that anymore. They've got good players. They've got a good manager. They need to look to score high quality goals by playing good football. They're not going to score this season by just smashing it into the penalty area and hoping someone can head it home. The other problem they've had, less of a problem, I think they've got a bit unlucky. Bonner has hit the bar. Holland has hit the post. They had one scrambled off the line and blocked by Robinson, who just laid on the goal line and managed to keep it out. So there's definitely been opportunity to get a couple more. But I agree, they've been really wasteful, and they've got into the final third of just doing silly things with it. Going back to what they're used to doing from last season, rather than what Gareth Taylor is trying to get them to do. They need to be high. They need higher quality in that final third, and I think they've got players that can deliver it 100%. They've just got to stop doing the aimless balls into the box. Get the ball down, fire it across the box, because you never know what could happen. Enderby could turn it home. Herbinger could get on the end of it. Someone in an Everton shirt could turn it in their own net.
Blurry again. But yeah, I get your point. Phil saying surprise Kiernan didn't start. Yeah, I think that's an interesting one as well, why Liverpool didn't choose to go for Leanne Kiernan from the off. The other thing I would touch on as well is Liverpool defensively, because they have been so poor. I think defending the transition from the corner, their own attacking set piece, and they just left. I mean, they had Holland on the halfway, which you want to have your tall defenders in the box. I get that, but they just left them so weak defensively that then Everton broke really effectively, but Liverpool were just caught out on halfway. They were too high, and it just didn't work. And yeah, they really should have done better in those positions. And even once Vignola was breaking away, the defence could have done more to then stop that shot. So that for me was somewhat disappointing. For the second goal, Harry commented moments before saying Matchweek had a first half to forget. Well, then she pulled out a very unforgettable cross, or very memorable cross, I should say, which was able to find Katja Snoyce, and she turned the header home. But yeah, Liverpool defensively had to do better. The centre backs, I think, what the problem was that neither of them picked up the run of Katja Snoyce. She drifted off of Herbinger really effectively. Nagano wasn't really alert to it, and then Katja Snoyce was able to just drift between the centre halves and head it home well. So yeah, disappointing, I think, from Liverpool defensively. For Everton, they were able to take advantage of those lapses in concentration. And yeah, really, really good first half, attacking-wise, for Everton in those moments. But yeah, Liverpool were disappointed. Everton didn't come forwards loads, and when they did, Liverpool made defensive errors, which Everton capitalised on very well. Everton, I think, have got to be careful in the second half, because if Liverpool stop making as many errors, then it's going to be difficult for them to maintain their level. How did I fiddle with the camera? We're back. We're fine for now.
We'll just have to get through it, and
yeah, lovely stuff. But hey, if it does go blurry, let us know in chat, and we can sort it hopefully quickly. But there we go. Anything else to touch on before the second half starts? Should we see any change at the break?
Well, that's the problem. That's the difficult part of it now. Is that for Liverpool is that yes, they're losing, and usually you'd say, right, they need to do this and that and this, but to be honest, if they do what they did for the first 30 minutes of the match, they'll be absolutely fine. They should turn it around. The problem is will those errors creep in? If they stop making errors and keep doing what they're doing, Liverpool will win this game. And that's why it's a really difficult one to get right, because I look at it and I still think that the way they've played, they should be winning this football match. And I think it's one of those where will Everton keep getting away with the fact that Liverpool are making mistakes, or will Liverpool shore up and go on to win this match? That's what's going to be really interesting to see. But I don't know. I think that it's one of those where Everton will fancy it now. Now they're winning. Now they've got something to defend. It's going to be even more difficult for Liverpool to get through. Everton will drop deeper. They'll play a little bit more conservative. They'll make sure they don't make any errors themselves, and they'll probably go on to win this game. It's up to Liverpool now to find a way to change that, to find something different in this match, to go on and win it. But it's a long way back now. And again, I'm speaking about that torrid record in the Merseyside derby for Liverpool. It looks like it's going to happen once again. It's another year where they just can't seem, another match where they just can't get over Everton. For some reason, in these derby matches, in these rival games, Everton seem to just find a way to come out on top. Whether it's the occasion, whether it's the moment, the meaning of the derby that Liverpool can't just capture, whereas Everton know what it's like, and they use that to channel a fight and a good performance. I don't know, but Liverpool, based on the football play today, should be winning this game. But Everton are the ones who have taken their chances and have scored goals. And again, all Everton have got to keep doing is hitting Liverpool on the break, catching them out, and that should serve them well enough to go on and see this game out. But a long way to go. A lot can happen, and it's definitely not over. As we spoke about earlier, that Gareth Taylor is the kind of manager who can make the difference, and his football can make the difference. Is he pragmatic enough to turn it around and change it? That'll be interesting to see. But Liverpool have got to find something in this game if they want to try and turn it around.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I think both sides could arguably have a better attack when they make changes.
Yeah.
Because for Liverpool, you've got the likes of Olsen, who was a prolific goal scorer in the Swedish league. You've got Keenan and Haug as well. So they've got three players who could all play through the middle there and have an impact on this game. And for Everton, they could bring on Tony Payne, they could bring on Kelly Gargo, and probably have a bit more dynamism in attack. And they've also got players like Ruby Mace who could come on and have an impact. Yeah. I mean, she could make her debut today. I expect if Everton have the opportunity to do that, they would like to do that. Get Ruby Mace on, gives the crowd something else to cheer about. They're already leading, and they'll hope to see that out. But yeah, for Liverpool, I think the problem is defensively, really. But who do you bring on? Did you trust Shimizu to come on when she's only been there a few days, coming back from an ACL injury? Do you bring her into the side? Do you put Hannah Silcock on at centre-back just to give yourselves a bit of height, perhaps? A bit of, I think, calm on the ball? But yeah, there's the problem. The problems for Liverpool is that it's difficult to solve because it's not structural. You don't just look at the side and go, well, it's all a mess. Because actually they've played some nice football and they've just not taken their chances. Phil says, is Roman Haug fit and available? They've put some good balls into the box that she would thrive off of. We're just not sure, to be honest. I mean, she's on the bench. She's available for selection, seemingly, but we don't know if there is perhaps an injury or fitness concern that means that she's not been selected today. But yeah, I think she would have been a good choice if not. Shelley says, new to your channel, lads, just subbed. Thank you for the watch along. Thank you, Shelley, for tuning in. Thanks everyone that has joined us today for the first time. It's great to see so much support on a stream that doesn't feature any of the big four. It's brilliant to see more fans of other clubs interacting. And yeah, we always have had a commitment to cover every team in the WSL on this channel. So yeah, welcome to the community if it is your first time here. Any other thoughts, Harry? The second half should be starting shortly as Brian Sorensen is trying to leave the tunnel but has been harassed by a man with a microphone.
This is really annoying me this season. These half-time or mid-match interviews with managers and players. It's just it doesn't add any value for me to the broadcast. But Sorensen, he'll be happy. I love the reaction of his bench for that second goal. Absolutely brilliant reaction. All of his coaching staff jumping up. That's what it means, though. And that's what I said earlier about Everton managing to capture the derby spirit. It's why they're so good at beating Liverpool. It's because they know what it means and they know what it takes to get one over your rivals. So I think that was massive to see for Everton, and to see the coaching staff absolutely buzzing with that second goal. But a long way to go. We know Sorensen is a very honest and down-to-earth manager. He will realise that they probably were second best in that first half. And I think he's the kind of manager that will realise that, won't rest on the fact they're leading, won't get comfortable, and will make changes, which is exactly what we're seeing here with a triple change coming for Everton.
I wasn't expecting 3, though, but perhaps they'll be a little bit more defensively solid. I mean, Karen Holmgard coming on, that's a natural fullback, which does make a lot of sense. So a triple change. Robinson off, Holmgard on. They'll definitely be more defensively solid. Mace on for Lads, going to give them a lot more security in possession. And then Claire Wheeler on for Hanoko Hayashi. So a lot of changes there from Everton. Do you agree with all 3 of them?
I mean, I don't disagree, which is the main thing. I don't sit there and go, that's a bad change. Do I think they put a foot wrong? Not necessarily.
Did need 3 at half time?
3 is a lot, but I think that in terms of, I think Sorensen is worried about that midfield getting overran. But I mean, to bring Ruby Mace on to help you control a game is a brilliant sub.
Yeah, it looks as well that Van Gaal may have gone then to be the right-sided midfielder, or perhaps pushed on to a more aggressive role. So we'll see how that looks for Everton in this half. They do get us back underway here at Anfield. Everton leading by 2-1, looking to hold on to this lead. Karen Holmgard under pressure here from Capox. Pass now back to Fernandez, under pressure from Holmgard, and they've won the ball high up the pitch. Liverpool turned over though immediately, and now Everton will look to progress. Here's nice hold up. Tries to release Holmgard with a pass down the line. Picked off there by Vignola as Liverpool knocking it round the back, and Everton can use this now. Here's Van Gaal breaking down the right-hand side, looking to deliver the ball into the box. It's an overhit cross though. Pacheco busting a gut to get there, won't get there though, and it's out for a Liverpool throw.
Again, Everton, I think they'll feel that a fast start here could be just what they needed to get this game over the line. If they start fast in the second half, get an early goal, put themselves 2 ahead, then suddenly it's a long way back for the home side.
Yeah, indeed. So Liverpool in possession then on the far side. The flick on from Kerr doesn't quite work out, and that's out for a Liverpool throw.
Yeah, I think Brian Sorensen, as I said, he'll know his side need to improve. He'll be happy that his side are leading, of course, but he'll definitely be aware that of what his side need to do.
Yeah, Hannah says, just imagine Liverpool would sign someone like Shakira Martinez to finish these chances off. They'd be balling in this match. Well, exactly, and I do just wonder whether, and I think Ollison's a nice addition. If she comes in and performs, Olsen, sorry, is a nice addition. I think if she comes in and performs like she has in the Swedish League, it's a fantastic signing. Because, you know, you're replacing Olivia Smith with the same sort of signing you made for Olivia Smith.
Yeah.
Which is a player in a lower European league, and you're banking on their potential. Obviously, Smith came in and performed incredibly. That's why they got £1 million for her. And they've reinvested that by buying another young talent. I just think they could have done more with that £1 million rather than buying Alexander Isak for the men's team. Which I assume that must be where that's gone. It's not going anywhere else. Would have been behind. Good ball looking for Enderby. But that will run on through to Courtney Brosnan in the Everton goal. So now Everton can look to play out from the back. Here's Martina Fernandez. Sends it forwards, and it's turned over high up the field by Liverpool. Everton recover it. Wheeler with the pass forward. One high up the pitch here by Liverpool. Kerr, nice turn. Finds Capox, who's driven inside. Can she get a shot away? No, it's a good turn over there from Wheeler, and now they can look to play Everton. Ball lifted in behind, looking for Vignola. Bonner will do well to get there and knocks it back to her goalkeeper, Kirby. Of course, if they did struggle to hold the ball in midfield, so it makes sense there. Thought Robinson was starting to do better as the half went on, though. Yeah, I think, though, right back isn't her position. I'm intrigued to see how long Sorensen continues with that experiment. I mean, it may go on to work, but I think Pacheco, being the more defensive player in a back four, doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah, and especially in this kind of in this kind of game, again, it shows good management from Sorensen. He's reading the game and understanding the position they're in.
He's not afraid to be the one who makes the decision. Wheeler puts the ball into a good area, makes with a chance to score, and Snicer's slashed at it and missed the ball. Again, that was a good chance for Everton.
Yeah, again, Liverpool conceding possession high up the pitch. Really good stuff from Wheeler. Lays it into Mace, and it was nearly a debut goal for Ruby Mace, and nearly the two subs combining. But instead, Liverpool have managed to find a way out of it.
A yellow card there for, I believe that's Van Gaal, who brought down one of the Liverpool players trying to break away. Liu Meyer, welcome to the stream. Asked for a prediction. We did give ours earlier. I went for 2-0 Everton. And what do you go for, Harry?
2-1 Everton.
Oh, there you go. So you're sat here hoping that nothing else happens.
Well, not necessarily.
And I need the Liverpool goal to be chalked off from 20 minutes ago. Or 40 minutes ago now. Liverpool turn over the ball there. Everton were trying to come forwards, but it's Nagano who comes away with possession. But I would be very surprised if there's not another goal in this game, I have to say. I think the way that both sides have played in this match, I would be surprised if there wasn't another goal. And confirmation it was Rosa Van Gaal who picked up that card. Pass down the line from Fisk, unable to keep it in touch. And that is out for a Liverpool throw-in. So, Fisk will take this, looking to go up the line. Has options short. And thanks Shelley for letting us know, but we were on it that time with the camera. Now out of play for a Liverpool throw. They'll try and make their way up the line here. I mean, neither side settled yet in this second half, which isn't a surprise. Been quite frantic. Liverpool now just looking to try and get a foot on the ball. Thrown long, looking for Holland. Can't win it. It's good defending from Pacheco. Ishikawa knocking it out of play though, and Liverpool can keep making their way up the touchline. I think this is the problem for Liverpool in terms of, you look at Anfield and they've sold out 2 stands, or, they've sold a lot of seats in 2 stands, but they haven't done, there's still a few stands without anyone in. I think the problem is that fans aren't going to go when they aren't winning games consistently enough, or there isn't enough investment. Everton coming forwards here, Van Gaal into a central area, cleared away by Fisk. Yeah,
it's one of those, at the end of the day, opening game week, Merseyside derby, with a men's international break, the whole lower tier should be sold out. I know the 2 of the lower stands are sold out, and obviously at Anfield they do go very, very high, but still, you'd expect to see a strong crowd, a stronger backing. Yeah. And, but that's the thing, as you say, as we said at the start, they haven't won a Merseyside derby for 6 years. So, why, if you're looking at that kind of thing, why would you want to go?
But also, when you look at Liverpool's business this summer, they've lost their most exciting player from last season and failed to replace her with anyone that I think gets fans off the seats in the same way that gets you excited. They've brought in a couple new additions, but they haven't spent loads of money this summer. They haven't improved on areas where they probably needed some investment. So it's one of those where it's difficult to attract fans when it doesn't look like the club cares.
Yeah.
And we've mentioned this before, but if you are, a young fan in that part of the world, and you've got the choice between Everton and Liverpool at the moment, it's difficult to say you'd pick Liverpool.
Yeah.
When Everton are showing a clear investment, they've got Goodison Park as their own now. I think that's the more exciting team to follow. So if you are a young fan, I wouldn't be surprised if they're going the way of blue over red. And at the moment, this game is going that way as well. Here's Fernandes. Out wide into Wheeler. Tries the forward pass. Doesn't quite come off. And now they'll look to play Liverpool. Here's Kapox. Pass inside to Kerr, who's going to be forced backwards there. And it's won back by Van Gaal, and they can break away again here, Everton. Options left and right. Finds Katja Snoys on the right-hand side. A good tackle from Lily Woodham to knock it out of play. Shay says, should support no matter how they're doing. I agree. I just think the problem is when you're trying to attract fans for the first time, or people who perhaps aren't massive football fans but are looking to get into it, it's difficult to attract them when there isn't the investment in the club and they're not playing particularly well. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Alex says, have you seen the German record? We did see that yesterday. It's brilliant for Bayern Munich. Everton coming forwards here. Pacheco, ball into the box, header, and it's there. And it's Vignola with a second, and it's Everton with a third. Pacheco to Vignola to the back of the net. And it's Liverpool 1, Everton 3. Lovely combination from Everton. Pacheco, another well-delivered ball. And Vignola winning the header, which isn't something you'd expect from a short player, but she gets away from the Liverpool defence well. Heads home emphatically. And it's another effort coming in off the crossbar, but it's Liverpool 1, Everton 3.
What a debut this is turning out to be for Vignola. And again, Liverpool's box defending is all over the place. It's another assist for Masba Shaker. It's a great header from a player that you wouldn't expect aerial quality from.
But Bonner completely misjudges this ball.
Yeah.
Got to be in front of Vignola there. Got to win that header. Pacheco has too much time to take the cross. It's a great delivery. Vignola heads it well. Nothing Kirby could do about that one. Rooted as the header goes across goal. And Brian Sorensen with an emphatic celebration.
And I tell you what, it is turning out to be another blue day on Merseyside.
Yeah.
Everton again are just it's difficult because they haven't ran riot or anything, but they've just found a way to win this game, and now they lead comfortably from absolutely nothing in the first 25 minutes.
Bailey's pleased for fantasy or aerial fantasy reasons with both Pacheco and Vignola. Hell of a pick, to be fair. I think the problem is Vignola's a forward, isn't she? On the game, which makes sense now. She's playing up front, but yeah. Huge points for anyone who gambled on her, and for Pacheco as well. 2 assists on her debut. Harry criticised her early on, but now she's having a stormer. This won't be anyone that she wants to forget. Here is Herbinger. And a reminder from Sky that their top scorer in the league last season was Kelly Gargo with 4 goals for Everton. This season, Vignola's already got half of that tally. Karen Holmgard Kane, the ball forwards well. Ball slipped in behind. Great movement from Vignola. The flag remains down. Could she find a hat-trick? Yes, she will. It takes a huge deflection, but Ornella Vignola won't care. It's a hat-trick on debut for Everton. Liverpool 1, Everton 4. This isn't just a Derby Day defeat for Liverpool. It's a Derby Day drubbing. They're off the pace, and Everton extend the advantage.
Second half is all blue and all one-way traffic, and this game is being dictated by Ornella Vignola. What a performance, what a hat-trick. Again, a brilliant run. In behind the defence, gets between the 2 centre-halves. She's timed it well, she's on side.
Very well. Fisk's positioning. Rules are on as well as Bonner's.
Does so well to send Woodham, get the wrong side of her, and it does deflect horribly off the Liverpool left-back. But I think it will go down as a Vignola goal because it was heading on target. But nothing Kirby can do at that one either. Another really well taken goal from Vignola with a little bit of fortune on this one. But Liverpool, again, it is just shambolic defending. All over the place defensively. They are being torn apart in their own penalty area. No one has any idea what's going on. There's no coordination. There's no organisation from anyone. And again, it is a massive problem they need to sort out.
Yeah, Liverpool, disastrous. Absolutely disastrous way to start the season. In front of the Anfield crowd, getting hammered by their neighbours. Risen's captain Vignola. That feels outrageous. Fantastic first week in aerial fantasy. We've done that.
That feels like when...
Someone's got triple captain Fury and Timber. Yeah. Great start though, well done Risen. Rasmalai asks, where's the money gone? That is a great question. I think it's paid for Isak's dinner. Herbinger tries to play it in behind. Everton picked the ball off.
And again,
they're back in possession.
And then on the flip side, Everton around a summer of club record fees, big investment, bringing in very talented players, a great mix of investing in youth and experience, and look what it's doing.
Yeah, indeed. And the Everton fans in chat, Sam and Shelley, enjoying this game very much.
I think they might have a new favourite player coming. For every Everton fan out there.
And this is without Kelly Gargo in the side. I mean, Everton could be for a great season. Aurora Ghali's still not back from injury. Ima Gabaro, did she end up going on loan in the end? I think there was conversation about her going on loan to Sevilla to work on her fitness this season. But yeah,
this is
Everton
crazy.
Are in it's a great start to the season. And when you look at their run of fixtures, they could really springboard them to success. I mean, next week it's a home match against Tottenham, who haven't had a shot on target yet against West Ham. London City Lionesses at home the week after that, which I think they'll view as winnable. Brighton away is a tough one, and then Leicester away, which I think they'll look at winnable. But if they can come from their first 5 games unbeaten before they then go into Manchester United, Villa and Man City, which will be, I think, a big step up in difficulty. But if they can take momentum from the start of the season, they can put themselves, like Brighton were last season, in a really strong position.
If they score one more, they're top of the league.
Well, I think they're top of the league anyway, aren't they? Because it would go down to...
Alphabetical order.
No, they'll lose that to Arsenal, won't they?
Yeah.
They should be away goals. In fact, they've scored more away from home. They should be ahead of Arsenal. But I think it would be Atletico at this stage. Mace.
But they're joint top. I don't think they care if they're top or not. They're joint. They've won the game. Well, they may not. But wow, Liverpool. First half were the better side and were not unlucky to be losing, but shouldn't have been losing. Second half though, they have been outplayed, outclassed.
And this is the problem. You can bring in a manager with the quality of Gareth Taylor. And Brian Sorenson's not even watching anymore, he's on the phone. We can bring in a manager with the quality of Gareth Taylor. But if you don't invest in the team, then it doesn't really matter because they've got centre-backs who can't really play this system. And they've got forwards who aren't converting the chances. So that's the thing, people will criticise Gareth Taylor for this game. But I think he's been hung out to dry by the recruitment. I just don't think this side's good enough. The midfield is brilliant. But defensively, there's problems. They haven't put away the chances they should have in the first half, and that's why they're losing 4-1.
I think it's one of those. I think they haven't done much recruitment. And the recruitment they have done isn't available to play yet. That is the other half of the problem. But Šimčák and Bernabé, I think, make them look more solid, but they don't turn this into a win.
No, and things, simple things like goalkeeper. Do they have a single goalkeeper who is, WSL quality?
I mean, why has Kirby been thrown into this one?
Well, clearly, Ballgraf's not even in the squad. Law's out injured. But either way, why
Who's the goalkeeper on the bench?
It is Morgan. Okay. Who has no info on football. I assume is a youth goalkeeper.
Fair enough.
But at least it's not Janja Daniels. So it could always be right.
But then again, how have you gone another summer without fixing your goalkeeper issue?
You'd think the investment from the Smith money should have been a top quality goalkeeper, a good centre back, a forward who replaces Smith's output. Instead, none of that's happened, and that's why they find themselves in the opening day of the season getting hammered at home. Yeah.
Credit to Sorensen. The changes he's made at half time made a massive difference.
Alex says Ballgraf is good, to be honest. Maybe that will be the difference, but then, injured.
But how are they exactly? But that's what I mean. How have they then gone and signed a goalkeeper that gets injured? What are they doing to their goalkeepers? It's not. I don't understand. I have so many questions about Liverpool. And for Everton, they've had great investment, a great window with a great manager, and that's what made a difference. Liverpool got a great manager with some good players, but no recruitment, no investment.
Yeah.
Speaks volumes. You put the money in, you reap the rewards.
Well, Sorensen's a great manager, and he's never had. He's a very decent manager. He hasn't had the investment in the last few seasons. They've given him money to spend this summer, and look at the difference it's made. They started last January. They've invested more this summer, and you go in. You're looking at a side now who are playing some really good football. Liverpool now may see some of the investment from the Smith money as Olsen will come onto the field. It feels a little bit too little too late for Liverpool, but we'll see what impact she can have on this game.
Anything positive would be good at this point. Just coming on and running about and looking a bit sharp would do anything.
That's the thing. I think Holland and Enderby in particular have looked anonymous in the second half.
No one in the front three for Liverpool touched the ball.
Kabok's had a few drives forward that haven't really resulted in anything, but
it's gone so flat, and that again, that's why they lose these kind of games. There's been no reaction from Liverpool. They have just, from 3-1, 4-1, they haven't reacted. There's no enthusiasm.
But even half-time, Everton were leading 2-1, and yet Brian Sorensen still saw that it wasn't a good enough performance. And so he made changes, and they've upped the level from a winning position. Whereas Liverpool didn't do anything else.
Taylor and Liverpool very much gone, we played the better football, so if we keep doing what we're doing, we'll win the game.
Alex says even Tegan Micah would be handy right now. Well, exactly. Another goalkeeper that they let go. Ras says miss Smith and Hines. Yeah, Taylor Hines in terms of leadership would be important right now.
Yeah.
Someone to shout at the players. And they're going to make changes, and it will be Fuka Nagano off for McLean and Kapox off for Olsen. I mean, that is one hell of a choice. Arguably, I don't think Nagano's done anything particularly wrong in this game. I don't think Apok has done anything particularly wrong in this game, and yet they're the players that have been taken off. The defensive midfielder taken off for an attacking midfielder in McLean, and Olsen will go up front while Enderby will come to the left-hand side.
Bar Herbinger, probably the 2 best players on the pitch for Liverpool today.
Yeah.
And they're both
That's who they've chosen to take off. Go figure. Everton with the ball. Here's Pacheco.
That's what Rumace adds, by the way. That is something so slight, but that could have been there. Liverpool winning the ball back on the edge of the area and getting a good opportunity, but instead she just holds on to it and shifts it out wide.
She's an excellent player. It's one of those where, Arsenal are in the market for a defensive midfielder this season, or should have been, and yet they Rude Mace for what is around 200k. Great chance here for Everton. Pacheco breaking into the box, and Bonner does do better on that one, and Kirby comes out to collect.
Again, lovely move from Everton and a heavy touch from Pacheco. Just the move breaks down because of it. But again, Everton are moving the ball really nicely from back to front. Really nicely.
Yeah, definitely. Enderby tries to take on Holmgard. One back in there, and now Everton can play. Wheeler, great pass into Snice, but her touch isn't great. And it's one back in there by McLean, and now they'll look to play out.
Better.
Fisk doesn't like our forward options. Turns around, finds McLean in midfield. He's had a lot of touches already since coming on.
Composed, though.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think with bringing Alton and McLean on, it's allowing them to come to an environment where the pressure is kind of off because they're already out of the game. But also just to give them, if they can do something promising, then that's going to give the fans something to cheer about.
Here is Ishikawa. Forward pass into Mamiki, who lays it into Pacheco. Now back to Ishikawa. And now look to come down the right-hand side now, Everton with Martina Fernandez. Here's Holmgard. Looks to drive inside. Options are plenty. Shifts it to Ruby Mays, who can touch this on to Pacheco, who again has space to drive into. Passes it inside. Mamiki wants to get a shot away. Does now, and it's blocked. But that's where Everton have found all their success on the left-hand side. Fisk isn't naturally a right back. She's too narrow at the moment. It's given Pacheco so much space down the left-hand side.
Yeah.
And Liverpool, Kirby clearing that long. Holland unable to get anything on that. And it's out now for a throw.
What a really, really dire first half. Second half, sorry. Really, really difficult for Liverpool. Even in the first half, though, the warning signs were there. But no shots. Not a single shot in the second half for Liverpool. Everton having more of the ball as well. It has been not even a touch. Liverpool haven't even had a touch in Everton's penalty area, let alone a shot. Not good enough in the second half from Liverpool. And Everton have really taken advantage of that.
Now, speaking of dire, what is going on in the other WSL matches? Because Tottenham, West Ham 0-0, Brighton, Aston Villa still 0-0.
Yeah.
Nothing going on over there.
I mean, Tottenham, West Ham, have they ever had a shot on target yet?
West Ham had one.
Great.
Tottenham had a shot second half. West Ham had one shot second half. Glad we didn't watch that one.
Brighton, Villa, that's unsurprising. Again, I thought we'd seen some goals in that. But I guess it's one of those where both sides will understand how, the quality of the opposition.
Both teams had good chances, just haven't put them away. Madison Haley had a great chance. Denied by the goalkeeper, Ellie Roebuck.
No, it's DeAndre's in there.
Oh, DeAndre's had a great game. And she came off at half-time for Roebuck. Guessing an injury there.
Must be injury. There's no way they decided they'd be doing that this season.
Everton bringing on Kelly Gargo. So if it wasn't difficult enough, here comes one of their best forwards from last season.
And that's the other thing that investment gives you. Depth in quality depth. I'm not talking bringing players that aren't up to standard off the bench anymore. Everton have got players. You're bringing up a player who scored a hat-trick for Kelly Gargo. That's incredible squad depth.
I was saying I was keeping you guys updated, but there's nothing to report. Well, there you go.
Yeah. Also, you mentioned Gargo being Everton's top goal scorer last season on 4. Vignona is now on 3. She is in one game. Which is just crazy. Should have been Everton's joint second highest top goal scorer last season.
I'd also love to know what Mark Skinner's doing, because in the 57th minute he subbed on Jess Park for Dominic Janssen.
What?
Yeah.
Who's playing centre half?
Who knows?
Well, I guess that's the luxury that you can be afforded when you're
Maybe
two
they
up
haven't
against.
got anyone up centre half.
What are Leicester doing? Are they still on the pitch? Are they had a shot? What a random few games.
Yeah, Cosme Hernandez says, go Liverpool. Right, it's going to take a lot now to turn this game on its head. Ornella Vignola. What an introduction on Merseyside. A hat-trick in the derby. What a game for Everton's new signing.
Fair play. The biggest thing, the hardest thing to do as a new player is adapt to a new division. I think it's fair to say that Vignola has done exactly that.
Yeah. And now on comes Kelly Gargo. And her first job will be dealing with this set piece. Well, Everton will now have to deal with the set piece. Ball swung into the box, flicked on there in the air, but it's over the bar. And out for an Everton goal kick. A slight claim there from Kerr for a penalty. Not sure whether there was any contact in there. Not really.
It's a shot.
But it is a shot from Liverpool. They are starting to get some chances away.
It's taken 25 minutes, but they have their first shot of the half. Wow. All I can say for that is wow.
Indeed. Everton coming forwards. Ball sent long then. Looking for Katja Nice. It's going to drop down for Holmgaard to compete, and she wins the ball. And now Martina Fernandez. Bounces it off Mace. Here's Ishikawa. Mace. Ishikawa goes wide into Pacheco. Tries to play a forward pass. Doesn't quite come off. And then that's out of play. For an Everton throw-in.
Yes, it's got to the point now where Everton are very happy to conserve. They're comfortable. They know that they need to see this result through now, and it will be a big Derby Day win for Liverpool. It's they've lost momentum. They've lost any fight really. Oh, Gargo again causing all kinds of problems for Bonner, and does win inside a throat. Well, Gareth Taylor is now back on the touchline. Has rejoined his coaching staff.
We've finally got another goal in the WSL, and it's Manchester United adding to their advantage. Now 3-0 against Leicester.
Good start then for United, and they will go top of the league.
Yeah, Shelley asking what games we're covering, and as Phil says, they are here for most games. Yes, this season we will aim to cover every game that isn't televised or isn't free to air, other than the BBC match. But yeah, every game that isn't on YouTube, basically. We'll be aiming to cover. Obviously, where there is an overlap, we have to pick one of them. But yeah, we'll tend to pick the one that is on the big game at the 12 o'clock. And today we've chosen correctly.
Yeah.
Because we could have sat through some 0-0s.
We were tempted to watch Brighton Aston Villa.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad we didn't.
Melby Mallard, by the way, with the third for United, set up by Dominic Janssen.
I thought Janssen had gone off.
Apparently not. Go figure. I don't think Dominic Janssen did come off for Jess Park then. I believe that was probably... I don't know. But there we go. Alex says, do you also cover United versus Bran? Probably not, Alex, because I don't think it's going to be on a broadcaster. It's on MUTV, and I'm not paying Manchester United Football Club £7.99 a month.
To watch them beat Bran.
Yeah.
Or lose to Bran.
So, yeah.
Be very interesting. But yeah,
But yeah, we will be back next weekend with more live coverage of the WSL. We've also got videos to come this week. Last season we did a weekend review series for the WSL. This year it will be, or this season it will be slightly different in terms of its packaging, but content will be similar. But hopefully a bit more research, and it will be out a little bit later on a Tuesday now. So look out for that. And then the usual analysis throughout the week of all of the weekend's big matches.
A lot to analyse, isn't it, for this weekend?
A lot to pull apart. Ball in behind, Liverpool giving chase. Here is Wheeler, who tries to play it up the line, but it's out of play for a Liverpool throw.
I have to say, the away fans will be enjoying themselves at the moment. It's going to be another day of bragging rights until I think the next meeting's either in March or May for Liverpool to turn it around. But again, if Liverpool don't beat Everton this year, it will then become 7 seasons since they last beat Everton in WSL. That is absurd. But Everton just find a way, and today has been a very, very promising performance.
Yeah, I think Everton could be in line for a good start to the season.
Yeah.
Got some really nice fixtures. Tottenham don't look capable of scoring a goal. So that game next weekend should be fairly positive.
Martin Hay might have shored them up defensively, but at what cost?
Yeah. But at least they're not shipping too many at the moment.
It's full strength West Ham as well, so it's that deadly front three from last season.
Yeah.
Wow. Glad I captained Asai. That was a good idea.
Yeah, 1 shot on target in that game across the 2 sides. Not a lot to write home about.
Dear oh dear.
Yeah, my captaincy of Turland did much better, which I'm very pleased about.
Yeah, well, long season to go. 21 game weeks after this. Plenty of points to be picked up on the Aerial Fantasy. Do join the league if you haven't already.
Ball across there to Holmgard. Holds it up, looking to take on Mia Enderby. Here's Van Gool breaking towards the penalty area. Wheeler, nice turn in the box, recovered by Woodham and smashed clear by Kirby. And Martina Fernandez back in possession. Van Gool. Fernandez. Brosnan pass into midfield, and it's one back up, turned over well by Liverpool. Now Bonner. Nice pass into Fisk. Trying to go down the line. Ball will bounce back to the Liverpool back line though. Bonner back to goalkeeper Kirby. Liverpool pushing for what would be a consolation at this stage, but at least spare some of their blushes. Enderby. Evans back now to Kirby. Ball launched forwards. Holmgard winning the initial contact. Drops in there now for Liverpool. Strong challenge from Wheeler, but Liverpool continue forward. Turbing has passed though. Cut out by Ishikawa. It says crazy to see all of the La Masia players in the WSL. Yeah. Barcelona's youth setup's been rinsed this summer due to their financial difficulties. It's going to be similar soon, I think, with the American talents coming across. Already, Chelsea have Macario, Alyssa Thompson and Naomi Girma. And I wouldn't be surprised if other clubs look across the continent. Liverpool in possession now.
They've settled, but mostly because
Everton not really doing anything.
Yeah.
Everton are happy to play a bit more defensive and take their foot off the gas a bit.
Everton have just dropped a couple of yards and just hoping to see this game through now.
Yeah, just turn the tempo down. Easing their way now to a comfortable victory. And a disastrous debut for Gareth Taylor as manager.
4-1 in your own backyard.
Yeah.
Plenty of work, a long way to go and plenty of work to do.
Absolutely.
I certainly don't think they're in trouble.
Yeah.
In terms of being down right at the bottom of the table.
Give it a few weeks and we'll see where they lie.
If you get Olsen firing, if you add Shimchak and Bernabé to this back line.
They've got Leicester next week. That's a game that's
a must
if
win.
They lose is a disaster. They've got Villa the week after, which is a game they can compete in. Van Gaal cuts inside, tries with the left foot, looking to hit the top corner, and it comes off the post. Unlucky there from Rosa Van Gaal, who's looked really good on her Everton debut.
Caught it really nicely. Kirby wouldn't have got there if it was on goal. Yeah, just caught that the kind of the corner. Oh, it's not a bad effort at all. Perfectly picking out the corner of the goal frame, just not the corner of the goal. Yeah, Everton, that is the other worrying thing, is that Everton could have had more. They really could have had more.
And well, now they're bringing on Tony Payne, another exciting attacking player. And that will sell the end for Katja Snice, who has got a goal today.
Which is important for her because it took her till about January to get off the mark last season.
It was this exact fixture. She scored the penalty when Hayashi was brought down on the edge of the box.
Yes.
And it was given as a pen. She converted that, and that was in December, I believe.
Yeah, because that wasn't it that game, and then it was the Man City game.
For Everton, yeah, I believe so.
And she scored in both of them.
Oh, well, there was a Tottenham game between they lost and 2 League Cup, which they lost.
Okay.
Yeah. They were in fair. It's the end of November, actually, this nice pen.
So yeah, important for her to get going immediately. Another opportunity to get some drinks and some tactics on board as both sides are making changes and someone's gone down. But Gareth Taylor, I'd love to know what he's saying to his Liverpool side. They've got 10 minutes to try and give their fans something to be happy about.
And well, it's Murray hoping off for Sophie Remenhaug as they look to try and get a bit more presence up front. I mean, that's going very direct. It's optimistic now to think they can find 3 goals, but they've got to go for it.
Yeah. Nothing to lose.
No.
At least a goal. Get yourself somewhat back in the game. Give your fans another goal to cheer about.
A bit more pride.
Yeah. But 10 minutes to go on what's been a pretty dismal day. Well, for Liverpool, for Everton, they are loving life. I mean, Sorensen was on the phone at one point.
To be fair, I think he also always has AirPods in.
Yes.
But
I don't know who's calling.
I don't know.
Because usually managers are not like, they're calling pick on their bench, but Sorensen stood right there.
Yeah, or like Bonpastor, who has Camille up in the stands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Ryan experiences this is dreadful from Liverpool. Don't know what happened to this team from the beginning of the game. Well, they played some really nice football at the start of the match, but the problem was that the defence is just weak and the attack not clinical enough.
And it's momentum. As soon as Everton, took control of the second half, Liverpool haven't come back at them. It's as simple as that. Everton have got on top and Liverpool haven't really know what to do with it. Everton have also made changes. I think that's half the problem. Is that even at half time, even when Everton were winning, Sorensen, he made subs, he made tactical adjustments, whereas Liverpool have just come out and tried to do the same thing, and that hasn't worked because Everton have made some tweaks. And again, since that, there's just been no reaction from Liverpool, and it's been all Everton. And they will probably, they're in a very comfortable position now. I mean, the fact you're bringing on players like Ruby Mace at half time and you're bringing on Kelly Gargo 70 minutes to go, it shows where Everton are at right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, pass back to Brosnan. Here's Mace. Back to Fernandes. Great pressure from Holland. That's out for an Everton throw.
Good control from Everton. Just doing nicely to move the ball. Just watching Ruby Mace play football again is just really enjoyable. So good at just being calm, keeping the game calm, keeping the ball ticking over, giving her side a bit of stability and solidity.
And Sorensen ditched the headphones.
Maybe she's
nothing left to talk about now.
Maybe she's got some music on.
Yeah. Fisk passed down the line. One back in there by Pacheco.
Fair enough to Mas Pacheco because she had a terrible first 25-30 minutes, but since then has been absolutely brilliant.
Well, it's getting caught out a bit in that left back position, yeah. But as I said at the time, once you push her forwards and she starts attacking, you'll see the returns, and that's exactly what's happened. She's found space down that left-hand side, and she's been able to impact the game a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 important contributions with the assists.
Done very, very well.
Indeed.
But I mean, obviously, Vignola has stole the show really with a debut hat trick in the Merseyside derby. I mean, as a debuting Everton player, what more could you possibly want?
Yeah, Tony Payne looking to drive across Woodham. Woodham makes a challenge. Now Liverpool win the ball back. I mean, yeah, contrasting left-back performances as well, with Pacheco's had an excellent one, and Lily Woodham, who you'd now look at her debut and say, well, she struggled quite a bit.
I said this when they signed her. I really don't get it. I think Woodham has looked okay for Wales and had some okay performances for Palace, but how could you... I don't think you could look at that Palace side and look at anyone and think, I want them in my team.
We've had nothing in the WSL for about 20 minutes, and then 2 goals come at once. Tottenham 1, West Ham 0, Manchester United 4, Leicester City 0. So Tottenham leading.
Good to see Tottenham are still doing Tottenham things.
And unsurprising, it's a penalty. They haven't had a shot on target all game. And then they get a penalty, which Beth England has converted.
How much longer they could get away with it for?
Tottenham.
That's all I can say. And it should have been saved as well. Keeper goes the right way and gets 2 hands behind it and still doesn't keep it out.
The second goal of the game for Melvin Mallard, by the way.
How long are Tottenham going to get away with not being good enough? Blimey.
It's a great question.
Yeah, fair enough. I get that happens in football sometimes, but it just frustrates. I'm never to the side get so fortunate. For people who missed it last year, Tottenham won a game last year without having a single shot on target. Leicester scored an own goal and Tottenham won 1-0. And that's why I get frustrated. Because sides come up, or sides put in good performances and don't quite get the result. And then Tottenham turn up, don't play well enough and still win the football game.
Yeah, Phil says fewer captain Beth England. That's a bizarre captaincy, Phil, but well done. You've got a goal at least.
I'm fuming.
And that should be bonuses now, presumably.
Merseyside should have tore that Tottenham defence apart.
Told you that'd be better this season.
To give them credit, they must have defended well because that is a good West Ham front line and West Ham have done nothing. So maybe Tottenham don't, maybe they do deserve to win in the defensive third. But again, how you don't have a shot on target for 86 minutes and you get a penalty and score it?
Alex asking, do you think Ruby is better central midfield than centre back? Ruby Mace, definitely.
100%.
Brilliant defensive midfielder. No, that sort of conductor role, dictating the tempo of the game. Really nice passing range, good tackler as well. She's a brilliant addition for Everton. The top club should have been sniffing around her, and yet it's Everton managed to pick her up, and that's a huge sign of the ambition the club has.
Mm.
Yeah, great signing, and she'll be a key part of Sorensen's side this season.
Yeah.
Ishikawa. But you look at Everton now, they've got better squad depth than Manchester United even. United have 5 subs today, and one of them's the goalkeeper.
True.
Everton, you turn to their bench, and they've subbed on today Ruby Mace, Kelly Gargo, Tony Payne, Claire Wheeler, and they're all really nice options. And Karen Holmgard as well, start from the bench.
Yeah.
Liverpool, another change. Risa Shimizu on for Lily Woodham at left back.
Well, at least they're getting the new signing some minutes. But that is a change I'd expect to see made permanent. Shimizu starting over Woodham.
I think the signing, I was like a bit early.
Oh, yeah, no.
A bit early to say. But definitely could be one that they look to make permanent. Riley says, what areas would you recommend Liverpool look for in January? Centre backs who are comfortable on the ball.
Again, it's hard to say because we've only seen 87 minutes of the season. With the window's literally just closed. I think they have gone out. They've gone and signed Shimizu. They've gone and signed Burnham. They've gone and signed Shimchak.
It just came too late.
Yeah.
Olsen could be a brilliant striker for them, but we can't judge off 20 minutes. And if she'd start today, would she have got a goal? Maybe.
They signed 3 defenders on deadline day that for me are all starting quality. It's just obviously they weren't ready to start today. So suddenly, if you put Shimizu, Bernabei, and Shimchak in there, do they concede 4 today? Probably not.
I mean, yeah, you start Evans and Bonner in a side that's looking, as a centre-back partnership in a side that's looking to dictate the ball. You're asking for trouble. I mean, the structure's been poor. They've both made errors. They've both looked fairly shaky in possession.
That is the only thing that I would caveat this performance with, is that the Everton goals have come through Liverpool errors. It's not like Liverpool have been outplayed in the final third or torn apart. They've just made fundamental, basic errors that have let them down.
Yeah. And this is why, in terms of the structure, I wouldn't put it on Matt Beard. Oh, not Matt. I definitely wouldn't put it on Matt Beard. It's not his fault. But I wouldn't put it on Gareth Taylor because I just don't. I don't think it's been structural issues. The selection I'd put on Gareth Taylor, but equally that was forced to an extent by the fact the signings were so late in the window. But
you're not going to throw players in who've been at the club for 2 days.
There's positives to look at from Liverpool. The result is poor, really poor.
They were the better side for 25 minutes.
They played some nice football to start. Ball slipped into Enderby. Nice control. Now back to Holland. And it's Shimizu in possession. Also, don't think it helps when you've taken off all your 2 best players with the subs.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
All the subs have been a bit weird.
Was that 3-1 or 4-1? I think it was
4-1.
4-1 was it?
They didn't get changes in between the 2 goals.
Oh yeah, true.
Wasn't time.
Yeah.
Ball switching the play here, looking for Olsen on this right hand side. Can't quite get there, but she works hard to try and get there. Now Matchweek seems to already have a song amongst the Everton faithful.
Yeah. Well, we were surprised. It's been a brilliant performance.
Yeah. She's going to get 2 assists every game. And 4 minutes left in this one then with additional time. And it's Kelly Gargo driving it forward. Slips Tony Payne in behind. Kirby hasn't come out to deal with it. Payne's taken it too wide. It's a good block from Shimizu, but Payne should have done better once in that position.
Yeah, really good football from Everton again, going down that left-hand side.
Brilliant ball from Kelly Gargo. Tony Payne here's got to read that Kirby... I don't know what she's doing. Staying on the line for that one. Shimizu does well to deal with her, though.
Best piece of defending I've seen all day for a Liverpool player. Yeah, and Shimizu's been on the pitch for 3 minutes.
Coming off of a 9-month injury, ACL injury.
Sums it up.
There you go. Well, more than 9 months, actually, wasn't it? It was like 11 months.
Yeah.
Ball swung into the box, headed away. Gargo now will try and make something of this. I'm going to lay it to Wheeler. And Liverpool come away with the ball. McLean passed into the box. No one's alert to it. Picked off by Fernandez. Good tackle in there from Olsen. But that did come off a Liverpool player, and that will be an Everton corner.
Robust tackle, but again, another good piece of defending. Does well to get stuck in and get back and put a bit of effort in. And I think that's what Liverpool lacked mostly second half, is a bit of fight. Bit of effort. I think a lot of heads dropped and a lot of people gave in once it got to 2-3-1.
Yeah. Also, I was gutted when we let Mace go. We had so many in front of her. Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, both her former clubs, Arsenal and Man City, would look at whether they should have kept her around.
Yeah.
Which, with the benefit of hindsight, of course they'd have loved to. City probably more. Could have just looked at it and gone, we don't have any defensive midfielders other than Hasegawa.
The other thing is, if she had stayed and not get minutes, would she have blossomed into the player she is today? Potentially not. So
yeah,
the reason she's so good and so comfortable at this level is because she's played so many first team minutes now for Everton, and now moving to Everton. For Leicester and now moving to Everton, is that she looks really comfortable on this stage, which is absolutely massive for her and her prospects.
Ball swung into the box. He's overhit. Then will bounce out. She's also, the thing is, May should also be, in contention for England minutes.
But she will be once she
obviously she was injured for the Euro, so wasn't around as a backup option.
But that's the thing. I think it speaks more broadly on Everton now that they can go out and spend club record fees on England internationals. Go and buy players who have come through at La Masia. It's absolutely massive for them.
This is probably the most pointless question I'm going to ask you all day, Harry. But who is your player of the match?
I wonder. Is it Lily Woodham? No. It has to be Vignola. Absolutely brilliant today. Completely dominated when she got on the ball. Looked so comfortable. Looked so dangerous. To come into a league on your debut in a Merseyside derby and completely transform the match was absolutely brilliant. Her first goal was a brilliant solo effort. The second goal was a great header. And the third one, again, with a little bit of fortune off, with the deflection, but overall another really good piece of play. A perfect debut for Vignola.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't disagree with anything you've said. There's another contender really for player of the match. You could say Matchweek had a brilliant debut, but she hasn't scored a hat-trick at Anfield on her debut. So, yeah it's obviously Ornella Vignola. Phenomenal performance. And, yeah, a great... I mean, we saw the stats earlier. 4 goals was Everton's top goal scorer last season. Vignola's on 3 in the first game. Good start to the season for the Toffees.
It's also clinical. 3 shots and 3 goals from 3 shots. That is what Everton need.
Clinical, also not repeatable. She's done very well with her chances, but that Everton will have to bear in mind that
she won't have an 100% shot conversion rate every single game. That'd be absurd. She'd be the best player in the world. But yeah, so they've got to be mindful of that. But for an opening day performance, it has been very, very good from Vignola.
Absolutely. But I like Brian Sorensen changing things at half time. He realised the performance wasn't sustainable and changed things up, and then the performance has definitely been better and warranted the result in the end. First half leading probably wasn't a fair reflection on the game.
Yeah,
but they've changed the game. Everton, they've changed how they're playing, and they've done really well second half. So, and now Kelly Gargo's running down the left hand side with possession, swings it in, headed away by Evans. It's going to drop in there for Holmgaard, who brings it down, and it's cleared away by Risa Shimizu. And that will be the last action of the game. It's full time here at Anfield. Liverpool 1, Everton 4. A disappointing start for Liverpool. They were hoping that this would be a much better introduction to the new season, but instead they've been well and truly beaten by their rivals, and Everton rejoice. What a victory. Another successful derby day. And will they move on to a lovely fixtures to start the season after a very positive start in Matchweek 1.
Merseyside remains blue. And once again for Everton, what a performance from Vignola. What a performance from everyone in a blue shirt. They weren't the better side to get going, but they grew into the game, started firing, and completely tore Liverpool apart. Fair play to them. What a performance from Everton. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. Liverpool, though, back to the drawing board and work to do. Individually, not good enough. Too many errors. But overall, it's 3 points to Everton. A very, very good start to the season and very, very well played.
Yeah, fantastic match. We'll be back on Tuesday to review. We're going to go and watch the Italian Grand Prix now, so we're going to be off quickly. But we will be back on Tuesday to give our full analysis of this match. So look out for the weekend roundup. We're dropping on Tuesday. That is everything from us today. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.